light force of your bond. A power like light itself. Unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of DYAD in the Force. Episode 212. The episode where we're talking about ANDOR and Rogue One. It's a special episode. Kind of like one of those high ground episodes. We have some very special guests. So when they get here, we'll introduce them.
Yeah, we'll introduce them when they're here. Not before then. There's some technical difficulties going on, but you know we are gonna make it work. It is all good.
Yes. Listen to Harith in the chat. Deploy the likes if you are here. Helps us out with the algos rhythms. Shout out to Craig McGuinn. I'm a spooky kitty. Forward into the black on the Twitch side. X-Core Gamer Skills. Let's see. Quag.
Quag.
I was still in the X-Core pronunciation side. Kenny says, "Let's go." Became a full sponsor. I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Sponsored by Let's Go.
8 watchers, 8 likes. F yeah. What am I doing? Fuck yeah. So we will be joined by Erin at that space on TikTok, THXT_space. Go follow them on TikTok if you have that app open right now. I will be full transparency. I was running a little late, so I do have some food off camera. I will be indulging in from here here and there. So Choco will be
You gotta get your grub on, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely
And then
gotta get your grub on.
we'll be joined by Beth, marajskywalker. Yay, eating stream? Nah, I'm not into mukbangs. I mean, I'll be chewing, but I'm not showing you guys anything.
Slow down, baby.
Kenny says 34-month anniversary. It says I'm a sponsor. Nice.
Oh.
How do I sound to you guys? How is my vocals compared to last week? Because I have upgraded my preamp. So
Sounds good. Sounds crisp. Sounds clear.
more or less, I'm looking for a clear loudness, because before I was quiet, according to the chat and.
It's like, don't put this on someone.
Chase says I can call in a bit. Let me open up my waiting room really quickly.
Sadly, I don't have her on Discord. I thought I did.
Is Beth here? She's joined.
A little loud to Choco. That's not usually what I hear.
A little loud to Choco?
I'm normally a soft-spoken fella. Anyways, hopefully that takes care of it.
You are kind of quiet, actually. As soon as you read that.
Oh, I actually just turned it down a little bit
Oh.
because he said it was too loud.
Is it a little too loud? Anyways, in the interest of allowing me to finish this, Choco, how's your week going? How's it going?
Yeah, the week is going well. It went by very, very fast. Sorry guys, there was no Tuesday stream. I actually had an appointment. But we did watch Daredevil and had a blast watching it. You know, we can always talk about that as we get things ready. Been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm having a blast with this game. It's I don't know how they mixed together so well the ability to truly do some build crafting. It's been a lot of fun. Also, Pep, I don't know if you have a secondary mic that's catching sounds.
That's Beth.
Oh,
Oh no.
Hi, Beth.
I didn't.
Hi, I can't see you guys. I'm so sorry.
There we go. Now I see you. They
me
don't
see if
see
I
on the
can
YouTube
share
side
this
just
real
yet,
quick.
though.
Whoa. You guys
I was
are on
like,
my
oh.
phone, so I can't. Yeah, no, I can't see you. I'm sorry. But it's good to see you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm
Everything
sharing
over.
this.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Now I
So
can
let
see
me
you
add you
guys.
to the stream. Welcome, Beth.
Yay.
Choco, take over again.
Hi.
All right. Hello. How are you doing? It's been a while. How has life been treating you, Beth?
It's been, we were trucking along. So good to see you guys. I'm so happy to be here.
It's amazing to see your beautiful smile once again. And hopefully we're gonna get a return of a lot of Deirdre content coming up. That has me really excited. And your analysis are always top notch. Now I know you're a big important lawyer who works 90 hours a day. So we thank you for making the time to hang out with us.
No, it is my privilege to get to talk to you guys. So thank you.
It's our honor.
Now, I do want to bring it back to the chat for a moment, though, because there was one other thing that happened this week. Is we had like a 5-hour live stream of the back of chairs. Did you guys all watch the Marvel stream to see who it? I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched it for 6 minutes and I was like, "Is it just chairs? Did it start yet?" Okay, never mind. And I turned it off and then I came back later and just fast forwarded through it to see all the people. That's just me. But yeah. What do you guys in the chat think of the announcements? Are you excited? Did you watch 5 hours of the back of chairs? And Beth, how are you on the Marvel side of things?
I will be the first to admit I am not as caught up on Marvel as I should be. But we'll get there. My last big foray into it was with Loki. So that's kind of where I am. But I am 100% in support of it. Love it. It'll take me a minute to catch up.
That's totally fine. Although, I mean, as a lawyer, I feel like Daredevil will be right up your alley, right?
I definitely have seen. I haven't seen the newest season or started watching, but I am a big Daredevil fan, especially when it started out on Netflix. It was so. I mean, not that Disney hasn't done a great job, but it was really dark and gritty. And I've heard good things about this season. So,
yeah, this season, I keep saying it. It's like a comic book when a new writer takes over. It doesn't feel quite the same. Parts of it are. Like, the show itself is brighter, but it's also more brutal. There's some scenes that made us go, ah!
Oh god.
Yeah, clip the mic.
I'll know to be prepared then.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully they do more. I like when they do more stuff in the actual courtroom. And I'm also hoping that we get a She-Hulk crossover. Did you watch She-Hulk when it came out?
I did, yes. We're all about crossovers, 100%. I 100% hope the same. That sounds cool. I didn't even think about that. That'd be an interesting courtroom duo, though. Now that I'm considering it, but I do want to see it.
Beth, I have a question for you really quickly. As I'm looking at the tech side of this broadcast, is it true that you're using something called an Imperial N9 Star Path?
Oh my god! Yes, that's what my AirPods are called.
That is amazing. That is awesome.
That's so embarrassing that it popped up. But yeah, that's what, because you know, you don't want, as far as like people knowing your devices, I didn't want to say like Beth's AirPod Max.
I'm sorry,
so
did I put you on blast?
No,
No,
it's fine.
that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, yep, that's what they're called. So now nobody knows what it is, and I'm like, it's all that, you know. I'm sure Apple's very pleased to be associated with the Empire, but
It's, I mean, it's apt.
Shout out to
though.
Darius.
Come on.
Guys, yeah, Harry says that's the greatest name for AirPods.
That's true.
Honestly,
That's true.
I never thought of like renaming like stuff like that. Like my earbuds are still called the Soundcore, whatever model they come as. That's really, really cool. I should like rename my pods like Jedi Holocron X19 or something, you know? Something cool like that.
And then you'll always know which ones are yours too. You won't be looking at the little Bluetooth screen and you'll be like, I got it. Holocron is a good one though. I like that one.
Tell me you're rocking the Soundcore like A20s.
Soundcore 30s.
Okay.
They're the clip ones that kind of just like go around your ear like earrings.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they're just like hang off like loop earrings.
I just wanted to know if that was a DYAD thing as well.
I mean, if you're using Soundcores, it doesn't matter what model it is. It's still a DYAD thing.
Yeah. So I used to get the expensive not AirPods, but you know, the Bluetooth headpieces.
Mm-hmm.
And my dog kept eating the right one. Always the right one for all of them.
I mean, it's the right one to eat.
And so like so I would always, so you ever see people who will walk around with just one in their ear all the time and you're like, okay, you think you're cool or something, like, what an idiot. That was me, but it's because my dog ate the other one. And when you don't have both, you can't unpair and repair them, so you're just like, if something happens, I'm just screwed forever. Anyways, they're really good, especially for the price, and it is what it is. But yeah, let's see here. Paris didn't watch the announcement, but got a text from Luke about Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. So yeah, both of them are coming back in Avengers Doomsday. So if you're a big fan of the Fox X-Men universe, like we all were growing up, which by the way, they're a lot better than I think people give them credit for, at least the first two.
X1 and X2 specifically, yeah.
Yeah. James Marsden's coming back, you know, a lot of that crew, so we're excited about that. Kelsey Grammer.
Well, Kelsey Grammer came back for Marvels, right, as Beast. So I'm interested to find out if they're coming back primarily to pass the torch to like the MCU X-Men, right? They're variants, obviously. They were established as such with Patrick Stewart in Mom and Beast in Marvels. So I'm wondering if they do have like a de facto Sacred Timeline X-Men that they're gonna have, and then like Patrick, I'm gonna cry thinking about Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen back on the screen. But we do have our second guest joining us.
Oh God!
hold on. I'm gonna fix it.
I was expecting you to be that zoomed in.
1 second.
Kat says,
but please,
X3 was not that bad. Some people had too high a standard. X3 had moments in it. Overall, I still can't do it. I'm sorry. Also, I just want to shout out X2 though for having the best opening. I'm sorry. I don't know where we all went, but
it's reloading.
Okay. Opening scene with Nightcrawler, still top tier, still holds up, still incredible.
Okay.
No. Oh no, I'm super zoomed in. Back that up. There we go.
Back that.
Back it up. Sorry, that's for DYAD After Dark. Like that's.
I was like,
Yeah, welcome
hey,
back.
join
Beth.
us where Skywalker backs that up.
But now that we have things fixed, we'd like to welcome Erin. Is it fixed space or that space?
I actually had the same conversation on Choco's stream when I was on it a couple years ago. It's it's thought space.
Oh, I mean, yeah. That's totally, DYAD. You're in the right place.
It was like a play on it's like a play on of a Queen album, Hot Space, but it was like it was also Star Wars at the same time because space in the title, so and I never changed it. Kind of regret it now.
No, don't regret it. No regrets.
It's all good. It's all good.
It was very awkward having to explain to Swagman at Celebration in 2023 what the name was when I met them.
You know what? You know what's equally awkward? Meeting them and then them saying we love your videos, and restraining myself from saying, but you don't follow me.
Oh.
God damn.
I mean,
But
but
they
it
know who
is.
you
I
are
guess
now.
it's a. Yeah, I guess it's a small token to just know that at least they're watching. But like, I've always found it funny that like they follow Choco, like my DYAD, and then they follow a lot of other people in the community. And then like
They follow me.
I'm pretty sure I was their first follow.
Ooh.
I've
and
got
then
a
the first
cat
time meeting
rubbing
them,
up
they're
on me
like,
right
"Yeah, we watch your videos, we love them," and I'm just like secretly.
Where's
in
the
back of
follow,
my
though?
mind, yeah, it's like back that up. You know what I mean?
Okay, this is like rubbing shoulders with celebrities. Oh my god, guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, I don't think.
I mean, we
Oh,
celebrate
you're definitely
you.
a celebrity. Oh yeah.
Me? I don't think so. Sorry,
We-
I've got the cat with me.
I mean, we
And
celebrate.
what's the cat's name?
Her name is
Cestus.
Sasha. No, it's not my cat. If it was my cat, it would have been called Gal.
Aw.
We know you so well. Our next guest is unplanned, but that's the point of his existence, is being unplanned.
Is that a?
Welcome the unplanned. Chase.
Yes! Yes!
That's a weird
Chase,
layout,
you
but
were
whatever.
an accident. This is what he's trying to say.
No. No, an accident and unplanned is totally different. There's a distinction, but a small but significant difference. I mean, like, it's not an accident that he joined, but he just now got unmuted. Sorry.
Oh, good.
I'm
You
on
know.
top of things as a director.
How okay? How's everyone doing? I feel like I've been having a conversation and it just wasn't being heard.
Have the first half of that conversation again.
I said, how did you know I was an accident? Was the first thing I said.
Ooh.
The Force.
That's right. Wait, are we the triad?
Ooh.
Ooh.
No. Thanks for having me. Thanks for accepting my call. It's good to see everyone here talking about the best part of Star Wars. So yeah, how's everyone doing? And just so you know, Star Wars does not follow me. So you and I can revel in that fact.
Same, Chase. Same. We can.
Yeah,
we can have
yeah.
How did
Major-
they not?
Majority rules.
Exactly.
When Andy
exactly.
Serkis and all of these amazing people meet and love Beth, and they're all fawning over her Deidre, but Swagman doesn't follow her.
Now that I think about it, being followed by Star Wars is kind of cringe, in all honesty. So
Oh, wow. It's.
Yeah, I mean, if that makes you feel better and sleep better at night, then
it doesn't. It doesn't.
I am very cringe.
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, like in a millennial cringe way, but then I'm like, wait, aren't we pretty much all millennials?
Is it because I had a millennial pause in one of my videos and Star Wars was like, no?
I'm actually like 23. I'm Gen Z technically.
See,
I mean, this is an
Oh, one.
MZ panel, you know?
Oh my god. Oh, wow.
we have to have the Gen Z shake to get followed by
Wait,
Star
were you
Wars.
born when Phantom Menace came out?
Me after
She said 01.
Oh,
2001.
Year before Attack of the Clones. Like,
Yeah.
there you go.
Man,
You know,
wow.
Not non sequitur. I've been thinking about the comment that a lot of chuds make about how right now Star Wars is dying because they haven't been in the movies, and I'm like, well, it was like what 20 years that we didn't until Phantom Menace. Was it 77, 83? Yeah, almost 20 years. They weren't in the movies either until the prequels.
And they didn't have the TV shows, so
No.
Yeah.
or anything like that. No video games, just the books and comics.
Man.
Craig
Well, we
says-
had video games back in the day. A lot
Did you
of
say
them
video,
it was
video games.
video games.
Video games.
But they were. It was like a smattering. You know what I mean? Like they were throwing spaghetti at the wall. A lot. Some of them were great though.
This is like an M. Night
Like
Shyamalan
Star Wars
movie.
Connect.
Is that an M. Night
Oh,
Shyamalan
my
movie, The
God.
Smattering?
I'm so glad you said that because one of my favorite things, speaking of chuds, is say like, oh, Disney ruined Star Wars. I'm like, never forget that the final legacy of the Lucas era of Star Wars was Star Wars Connect. That was the last thing they put out before Disney bought it.
And that was the first appearance
That's
of Belle
beautiful.
Zettifar, right?
That was the first appearance of dancing.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah. I'm Han Solo.
If Jason
Hey,
Derulo's not
Oh,
canon,
man.
I don't want it.
Although I will say I did get to live as a Rancor rampaging
Yeah.
through Tatooine in that
You
game.
got to do
And
this.
that was wonderful.
Was that the only redeemable thing about that game?
Yes.
Yes. And even that was like you played it twice and you're like, all right, I get it.
I actually like the Han Solo song. I especially love. So I think someone edited it over the the trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story back in 2018, and it's glorious.
Spooky Kitty says, "Oh my God, I'm old. How old? Isn't Spooky Kitty a youngin? Choco, do you
I
remember?
always kind of assumed they were.
Or at least, presenting themselves
Or
as
we are
being old
just-
enough to swoon. I was about Padme. Yeah, Padme. It depends
I
on
think we're
which.
just old.
Oh, you're 31. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were younger. Anyways, there's a spooky kitty and a spooky hippie, and I feel like you guys should connect in some way, shape, or form. Spooky hippie says, "My friends and I always say no one hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans." I mean, that's been an adage, age old, you know. And it started in
The
2000.
song is old as time.
I also want to appeal to my vanity really quickly because this is the Andor Rogue One special episode, and I do want to highlight the new tat that says Kyber Heart Society.
Oh.
And I
That's
want
cool.
people who, if you're thinking about getting ink in the near future, submit it for the approval of the Kyber Heart Society.
What is that?
How many people are in the Kyber Heart Society?
Just me right now.
Just okay.
but the implication is that we all have Kyber Hearts. We're all strong stars. So if you want to, you can get henna. It's fine. Just kind of display the
Sharpie
pride.
also.
I think
Just-
to commemorate
just
this
write it.
stream, we should
we
all
can all-
get
we can all
Kyber
write
Heart
that.
Society.
Yes.
I got a Sharpie in the
Who's-
other room.
Who's doing the like stick and pokes? That's what we need. Like next time.
As someone who has 3 stick and pokes.
Oh god.
What, steak and eggs?
Yes.
Steak and eggs and steak. I also want to shout out Erin for their beautiful rendition. I mean, both Erin
Yes.
and Drew's beautiful renditions of the Luthen speech.
monologue,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I warned her we would have her reprise it live.
That's not happening. I'm not doing that.
I was like,
I'm not
did
doing
we? Who's we in this?
we as the collective energies of the Force. I mean,
No.
Do you know how many takes that took?
For real, it took so many takes.
That speech is long. That speech
Yeah.
is long. It goes on.
I'm pretty sure I still got a word wrong. I missed out a word or got one of the words
I
wrong.
definitely got that wrong.
I think it took me 18 takes, and I'm just sitting in the chair.
I live on the flat I'm in lives on, it's in the city center, so cars just kept going by, there were alarms going off constantly, people shouting in the street, and I was like, can you guys shut up, I'm trying to do this goddamn speech.
That's very Coruscant though. That feels
Kindness.
very Coruscant.
Shut up!
Not in the UK, the UK streets are it's just drunk people on a Friday night, screaming.
You just hear people going, "Oi!"
Oh, mate, shut up! You melon! Or some crap like that, I don't know.
Having a piss.
Stop taking the piss, yeah? Kenny says, I'm 39,
Beautiful
me and Pep
British
are the
accents.
old heads here. And the next chorus says, Pep, Kenny, and I are the oldest in here. Beth,
You don't ask
can you
that.
remind
Don't, yeah, you are. I would.
I'm
hey,
like,
Pep,
that's
you
a
should
loaded
stop
question.
right there.
no, aging is a gift, and I will tell you that I'm in the 3s, but I will not tell you what era of the 3s I am.
You're in the
indeed
beautiful
in.
threes.
I am, and
We
in
have-
all honesty, it just keeps getting better. So
Yes.
I feel like such a child right now.
Not at all.
23, goddammit. I'm the same age as Cal Kestis though, so a win is a win.
I don't like knowing that I'm older than Cal Kestis.
I mean, I'm older than a lot of the characters just in certain points in their timeline, you know, but not older than Luke in The Last Jedi. You know what I mean?
Listen,
Oh,
Star
there you
Wars
go.
was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We're older than ever. We're younger than everyone.
This is true. This is
Oh
true.
yeah, yeah.
What are
yeah.
they? What generation are they?
One.
Oh,
Generation 1. I don't know.
Generation Hope.
oh man, it's a good
VGC.
question.
Take care, VGC.
Thanks for stopping by. But are you older than the kids from Skeleton Crew?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes, we can legally drink, legally partake in a beverage.
Not older than Jude Law, but
Right.
How old is Jude?
older than me.
Jude Law's like 50.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's got to be. Now I need to know.
Does he have some Asian genes?
I was thinking like 40s, late
He's
40s or something.
52.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was so wrong.
Yeah, because I'm saying like Jude Law was an adult when I was a kid, so
I mean, how old of an adult?
20s, 30s, I think.
Yeah. I feel like him, Keanu Reeves. They're
Oh,
vampires. Natalie Portman, they're vampires. Natalie's in her
I
40s
would.
too, right?
I don't give you Keanu Reeves. Like growing up with Bill and Ted, like Keanu has definitely aged.
He definitely has, but he still looks young. That's the premise of what I'm saying, though. I'm gonna be 30 all my life.
Everyone keeps joking about how like Gen X and millennials don't age because of all the like microplastics in our that we've like consumed over the years, and I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I trust me, I loved a good Lunchable back in the day. So
We're all synthetic.
I don't think we have Lunchables in the UK.
oh
Don't
man.
think
Do
we
you
have
have? Do you, this is a Gen Z thing. Do you have Feastables?
a what?
that
I think that is an American Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's transferred over outside of the States. That's the Mr. Beast Lunchable.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what kids today are into. Like, I've seen so many, like, the Skibidi toilet, like, blind boxes. I've seen those in my local comic book store and the toy stores, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know what kids are into today.
I do know, based on my last visit to London, that the hottest thing in my mind is Greg's sausage rolls. And
Yes! Oh my god!
I miss the heck out of those things. I got them every morning before Silly.
The one I mean this very hyperbolically. Like, the one thing I do miss about the UK was just the insane amount of like vegan options they had. Like, just everywhere had something good. And I was like, I remember because like we went to, I think when we came into like Piccadilly Square, whatever shape that place is.
Circus.
Piccadilly
Circus. It's not a shape. It's a circus. Piccadilly Clown House. I was like, oh my god, they have a Burger King, and I am starving. Let's just see if they have the Impossible Burger. And it's like, oh my god, they have everything. It was great.
They actually do have vegan sausage rolls at Greg's as well.
Yeah,
so.
I had many.
Man.
I had many.
Greg's is like cultural landmark. I remember there was a clothing place at Primark in the UK. They started selling Greg's like merch, like t-shirts, joggers, and like everyone went crazy for it. It was so funny.
I went on a binge trying to find like frozen Greg sausage rolls that I could buy here in California, and to no avail.
Did they not have in Iceland in California? They sell them in Iceland.
I miss the heck out of those things. Shout out to
They are delicious.
Shout out to Tate. Tate, Star Wars facts guy, or the facts guy, when we were in London. He was on such a rough schedule. He had not eaten, he hadn't eaten in like several hours. I think it was since the night before, and he was like running on fumes. And I think I caught him at like the Young Jedi Adventures panel, and I was like, "What's wrong, man?" He's like, "I'm so hungry," and I'm like, "I have a Greg sausage roll in my backpack." And now he is in love with them as well.
As he should be.
Yes, they're
Iconic.
They're amazing.
I love that was like a black market sausage roll moment too. Like,
Yeah. He's got a trench coat. He's like, what do you want? You want some bangers and mash? You want some?
Shout out to Johnny, who ordered bangers and mash, and somebody ate his bangers. With like
I don't like that phrase.
Yeah, that's makes me uncomfortable.
I forget which restaurant we were at, but it was a restaurant that had like spoons. You could order Weatherspoons. And
Did you go there?
I was thinking like a restaurant that had spoons, and like that does not narrow it down.
I thought you were talking about Weatherspoons.
There's an app that you order through, and
Urban
others
Spoon?
can order for you.
What did the plates look like? Were they like
Reese
white,
Witherspoon.
do detailing on?
Hold on.
Salad fingers, rusty spoons.
oh man, talking about
I
the
like
millennial
rusty
references.
I know salad fingers though, to be fair. Spent a lot of
Okay,
time
good.
on the internet. As like, I remember the yellow subscribe button. I know Charlie the Unicorn, Annoying Orange, all that crap.
It's a leopardon, Charlie.
It's a magical leopardon. I used to quote that all the time. It was annoying to my family and everyone around me.
I really wish that we had gotten like that kind of perspective from the skeleton crew kids. Like, what sort of memes are they watching? Like, what are their videos? That's what I need to know.
Someone
What is
may-
Neil's favorite meme?
Someone
Yeah,
may
that's
or
what I
may
mean.
not have gotten their media contact for me. So there is a potential I could ask them that at some point in the future.
Yes, please ask them that. Thank you. Theoretically, completely theoretically speaking, of course.
I got Young in the chat says, "Old Greg, anyone?"
I
Classic.
that was
It's
everywhere.
been making a comeback.
But I never got into that whatever BBC show that was, or whatever British show that was, with old Greg.
It was on Adult Swim.
Oh, I don't know what that is. It doesn't
I'm
ring a
out.
bell.
I'm old Greg.
I'm gonna hurt you. What? I like you. What do you think of me?
He was like a fishman thing.
Wait, I feel like I've heard that audio, but I don't know if like I don't
You
know.
ever
It's
drink
not...
Bailey's from a shoe?
It's definitely in the cultural zeitgeist. Like you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I yeah. While I may not have watched the old Greg stuff, but I'm very much aware of him and his many quotes.
I don't know why I'm thinking about home movies right now.
Home Movies was great. It spawned Metalocalypse.
I just have the
man.
voice of McGurk in my ear.
Thunder Horse.
Just like, does anybody know old Greg? Old Greg.
Man.
I'm struggling to understand why Choco thought it was a good idea for him to sing Tales Old as Time in the Star Wars stream when Chewie is the Beast. Is Chewie the Beast in Beauty and the Beast? I think
No.
Chewie's the
Who?
Beauty.
No, Chewie's the beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, Han is the beast in the.
I was gonna say Krennic's the Beast, but
I was also
Oh,
going to
man.
say
Krennic would
controversially
love-
that Maz Kanata calling
Krennic
Maz Kanata the Beast
Krennic would
be-
Krennic would watch Beauty and the Beast and not understand why Gaston is the villain.
Yeah. And Krennic only wishes he could have the same main character energy as Gaston too. He will never get there. He's the epitome of a middle manager.
He would try and start the Gaston song in a pub, and everyone would just look at him.
Look at him. Where are the Krennic cosplayers? We need to make this happen.
Like
Oh my
he has the energy of Gaston's little buddy. What was his name? LeFou.
LeFou.
LeFou? Yeah.
Yeah, he's big LeFou energy.
Oh my god. You know, he would be a great meet and greet for Star Wars night. Just saying. Just saying, Disney.
Krennic.
Because you're
That would be-
watching.
That would be funny.
Be amazing. It's just like meeting Gaston, except in space.
Okay, I got a question for chat and everybody in this MZ panel. And it relates to Beth's amazing thing that she does for her AirPods. What are you guys? So I don't know if Chase, you were here. I don't know if Erin was here, but her AirPods are called Imperial and 9-Star Path
Starpath
Okay.
unit.
units.
Okay. Okay.
I like
So a question for the chat and everybody here: what are you naming your AirPods? You don't have to use AirPods, but like, what do you name your AirPods?
My headphones are called Ye Old Listeners. I don't know.
That feels very British. It's very British. Love it.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't like the factory setting name that came with my headphones, so Ye Old Listeners.
I'm definitely
So it's
doing
funny.
that. I feel like everybody does that. Chase?
This is a hard one. What would I name them?
Cessna?
No, Cessna's a plane manufacturer. Bose makes like a really high-end aviation headset. I don't know. Gosh, this is on the spot. I don't know. Comm device? Like that feels like generic but useful.
Kenny says the Walmart Jedi. Spooky says people suppressors.
Oh, not wrong.
One of my primary uses of AirPods is to either talk to myself in public with no one on the other end, or just so no one like talks to me ever.
You just point to him and just like, sorry.
Nothing
I've
going
done
on.
that before.
Sorry.
I've pointed to that before when I'm walking down the street and people still try to sell me stuff. And I'm like, I have headphones on. Are you blind? Don't talk to me. I'm too autistic for this. Don't approach me, please. That's what they're for.
I feel like they're necessary, especially if you take any form of like public transportation, because things just get crazy and you're like, I got my headphone. I can hear exactly what's going on around me, but I also can't. So
I listen to music. I if I leave the house without my headphones, I'm like, guess I'm dying then. Can't do this.
I guess I'd probably name them like RZ-2 interceptors.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Jaybird in the chat says my AirPods. Awesome.
Classic.
Very catchy.
Ooh, what if you just called them
very-
your AirPods?
Very demure.
Checking gizzards.
I have Android headphones, so retail headset for a retail Jedi. I mean, you could. Why not like hunters or something? Try to keep the hope alive, you know.
R.I.P. Hunters.
I was gonna say, with androids, there are a lot of droid names. Like, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go the droid route.
SH-14.
R2D2, BD1,
Yeah, you could do
BD8.
HD-PH0N3. I don't know.
What? Say that again.
Headphone. I don't
Oh.
know.
Oh.
H3, 4. Head ass.
Head ass.
Let's see. Oh, it looks like. Oh, never mind. I was. Young says, "Leave the bitch alone." I think she was talking about me calling out your N9 Starpath units.
Oh. It's okay. It's just, it allows me, whenever I can't find them, to say like, where is my Starpath unit, and like really just have the conviction I need.
I mean that's like awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd
No,
love
that's
to
what her
ask.
headphones were called. Leave the bitch alone. I like it.
Oh,
Oh, that's what. Okay.
I mean, it works both ways. Telling you to leave her alone.
I mean,
actually-
I'm rich, so not wrong. Like,
I actually would love to ask ask Google, where are my Yodas?
Where am I?
Listen,
I think you now know what you're gonna name them. I think you have your name.
judge me silently, not outwardly like that. Spooky says Jon Stewart. I mean, that was a missed opportunity to say Padme. Or
I mean, given what
Where
you
is
just
she?
said, though,
Is she safe? Like,
where is Padme?
yeah.
it just feels like now the obvious name is like Ballsack or something. Like, Google, find my Ballsack.
Only one, because the right one is always eaten.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I hate that I said that in that context.
But we have gathered together to jump into our Andor / Rogue One talk. We just had the second trailer for the Andor season drop. I'm curious, how do you guys feel about it? Anything pop off to you? Get you extra excited? I mean, for me, seeing K2 bitch slap was delightful, just delightful. But
Return of
what
the
about you guys?
They continue to give us these immaculate framings of Mon Mothma, and the one that we got this time was her like in fear with Palpatine's podium up in the Senate, and it's just like.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is Ian McDermott showing up for this? Are we getting him back?
Oh. You can just tell Genevieve O'Reilly is going to slay with that monologue, though. You just know, like,
Yeah.
just the look on her face. I'm like, I cannot. This moment is obviously it's going to be epic, but you can just tell.
Yeah, I just wonder if this is like kind of going to be a Bad Batch moment where like maybe it's like mid monologue, the podium rises. Like,
Oh
like
god.
he
he's just
smells
like,
the descent.
Man, so
Good.
good.
Which makes me want a Mask of Fear, or just like a show about this Alexander Freed trilogy, because I also want to hear her talk about the Jedi. No spoilers here. I think Erin, did you start it yet?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
They're muted.
Nothing changed.
Are they wireless
Did
headphones
something
that may
die?
have
Did they-
died?
Oh.
No, they can still hear. Do you have an on headphone thing, or maybe power them off and power them back on?
I like how like the natural response is to respond vocally, but we can't hear her. I know that Mask of Fear is on your TBR.
I have not finished it. I'm getting there. It's very good. It is disturbing in so many ways. It's just there, like even reading one of the parts where Mon Mothma is meeting with one of the separatists, and like they're just talking about the wealthy elites and stuff like that, and it's just like she's talking about the sums of money she has accrued, and she's like, you don't know power until you find out power is relative, and it's just like, oh, stop, Alex, stop this.
Yeah.
Oh, the amount.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I have no idea what happened there. Everything just like disconnected. It was really weird.
It's just an English thing.
Yeah, it's British things. Sorry, what was your question?
No, I mean I asked if you had started it yet, or if you're still getting through other books.
Reign of Mask of Fear. No, I literally just got it today. So it's on my shelf though, my lovely, lovely shelf, which is shrouded in
Beautiful.
darkness over there. You can't even see it.
It's like, okay, all right, it's back there.
Sounded like
It's
a Lord of
it's
the
really
Rings
it looks
thing.
really nice though. I promise.
It's a chunky book.
She's thick. She really
Yeah.
thick.
Like
Yeah.
compared, like we have like our top shelf on our bookshelf in our living room is just like we have Star Wars books, then like expanded universe, and like the canon books. It's just like chunk, and then everything else.
Oh yeah, like I remember I was like on chapter in the 40s, and
You got
it
like
was-
40 to go.
Yeah, I was it was in the 40s, and it was the first week the book was out, and then I messaged Choco. I was like, should we talk about Mask of Fear this week? I'm almost done. Because you know, like in my experience of having read a lot of books, it's normally, at least with Freed, it's around like 50, 60, right? But then like he was like, no, I'm not done yet, and then I was like, and then I started again, and then I looked at like it went like in the high 70s, and I was like, wait, never mind, I'm not almost done. So you guys,
Also,
yeah,
something we
chunky.
learned from the High Republic days is, you know, just because me and him finish a book within 2 days does not mean we limit the amount of people that can stick around for the conversation when we jump into it so quickly. But yeah, it's definitely a fantastic read.
Would you guys be willing to come back to talk about Mask of Fear when you've finished?
I
yes.
finished it. I'm
I
ready.
started it.
I'm ready. But I don't want to. No spoilers, because it's one of those things that's so good. Like I
Yeah,
don't want to
you
talk
can't
about it with
spoil it.
anybody. Who
I've
hasn't
only
read it.
heard
Yeah.
good things. I've only heard good
It's
things so
great.
far.
I'm
It's
very much
phenomenal.
enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it. It's one of the, as much as I love the Alphabet Squadron trilogy, this is what he is best at writing at, is he's just so good at writing conversations and people's relationships and those interconnecting relationships more than he is like action. And there's not a lot of action in this book, at least so far. And I'm not quite halfway, but almost halfway done. So
It's more thriller-esque.
yeah, like
The, the only Alexander Freed Star Wars book that I've read is the Rogue One novelization.
Novelization, yeah.
I have
It was many
not
years
read
ago.
that. I should.
It's great. You should.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I read Catalyst as it was coming, Rogue One was coming out, and I got really into that book. I loved Catalyst.
I have Catalyst. I haven't read it yet though. I've
It's
had it since it was published.
It's very.
I literally just.
It's very
reread
James
it,
Luceno.
just finished.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta
Very
like
Luceno,
James
yes.
Luceno. You gotta
Not a
like-
lot of action, a lot of describing just how Imperial prisons and how the engineering sector and like logistics and infrastructure works within the Empire, and just describing that. And it's just like, yeah, it's Galen, Lyra, and Krennic just bickering for 400 pages.
I mean,
Just in different locations. Like,
Yeah.
It's just.
He
Yeah,
reads
exactly.
technical manuals with a storyline.
Well, he's very much like an Arthur C. Clarke type writer.
Yeah.
But we love James Luceno. He's a sweet
So-
boy.
So good. So good.
Speaking of Freed, I'm happy to report in the year 2025, I've read the Alphabet Squadron trilogy.
Finally.
You know,
We'll have to talk about that someday.
would you like to talk about it some of these weeks?
Yeah. I will always talk about the Alphabet Squadron trilogy.
Chaz in the chat.
do you recommend?
Choco recommends it for 3 years straight.
I do have an
I have to know the person I'm
Yeah.
recommending it to in order to recommend any book.
I honestly
is-
think that Erin would like it. Would like the trilogy.
I have the entire trilogy on my bookshelf, but I haven't.
It
got
is
around
my
to it.
favorite 3 Star Wars books ever written.
Oh,
And just
but
like,
I am
like
also
Choco-
like the Starship loser on TikTok.
Or you're the Starship winner.
Winner.
Okay.
All right, Starship
Yeah.
winner. I am the Starship person on Star Wars TikTok. That being said, it is Alexander Freed. He has his strengths, he has his weaknesses, and he really plays to the strengths in that book. So if you're expecting what I was expecting the first time I read Alphabet Squadron, which was coming off of like rereading the first X-Wing book, like starting the Expanse series, it's not that. It is about how pilots interact with each other and how war crimes should and will be handled within the New Republic.
Yeah.
That is the premise of that trilogy. And it's not
Versus the
it's
Michael
not-
Stackpole where he's talking about dog
Tar-
fighting
and
or-
targeting computer systems and stuff like that, which look, I love
It's
those
also
books.
really cool.
It's so cool. But no, it is. I think that Alexander Freed has done something that should have been done a long time ago and wasn't. We can not talk about this as well, so stop me whenever you want. How he deals with Erika Quell and what she did and the other Imperials did, and how the New Republic handles that, and that it does not give you a satisfying conclusion to all of that
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah, because war is messy. You know, you
Yeah.
have half of the people in this rebellion were former Imperials. You know, where do you draw the line with what they have done in the past versus what they're doing now, and how do you reconcile that? And I think that goes right into what we're talking about here, with Andor, especially with. I mean, do you guys think Cyril's going to turn? Are we getting that?
I think it's 50-50.
no.
I agree with 50.
I-
50.
I think he will. I think it will be explored. It depends if he. I think there's a lot that depends on, again, external forces, but I think he will definitely explore it, especially because in several interviews, Tony Gilroy has hinted that his first embrace was fascism, but what if theoretically Cyril were to be embraced by something else as far as finding a place to belong? And also, I mean, we see him on the ground in the Gorman Massacre, so he might not be super pro-Empire after that.
I also feel like it's a 50-50 that he's going to finally find a knot to hang the tie from.
That's
No.
stupid.
No.
I hate it so much.
No, what?
That's-
What?
I
No,
remember
wait,
Choco
wait,
talking about how
wait,
much he
no,
hated
that
the
was-
tie.
those are
I thought
great.
that was
Those are so
Yeah.
good.
It's a free hanging tie.
I just.
No, it is a slotted
okay.
tie. It is slotted, and it has it is not like free fabric. There is like a metal ring that holds the tie, and like oh my god, how do you not like that? Do you guys not wear ties?
does
Do
look a
you
bit
not know
silly.
how stupid they are?
I've worn many ties for many years. I actually like wearing ties. I just got a new one actually, but that's besides the point. In a navy suit, I look pretty sick. No, but in the second trailer, he says, you know, what does he say? There's a world there if you're willing to explore
For
it.
people who dare.
For
Yeah.
people who dare. And he's always and he does strike me as the rebellious type, you know. That's what started all of this whole thing, is him rebelling against his leadership towards fascism. but he still
Also,
he wouldn't
towards-
listen
against
to
his
them.
mother too.
Yeah,
he-
but it was for what he perceived as justice, and so it's something I can see if aimed differently. You know, we might get a different result. And so I'm curious, how we're feeling, especially everyone in the chat as well.
It's what's really interesting is that when he's kind of like fumbling his speech, and you're just like, oh god, and it's like very crazy.
This is horrible.
If you go back and listen to it, like the quote that he says when he's like, you know, the greatest risk is comes a time when the greatest risk of, you know, is not doing something. Basically, I can't paraphrase it right now because I'm so tired. I'm sorry, but it's actually really similar to like Jin in Rogue One, when she's like, what chance do we have, what choice? Like, it's very, very similar as far as like ideologically, and it's really interesting. And I didn't realize that because I was like cringing through the whole thing the first time when you're just like, oh god. But yeah, I think he definitely has, everyone has their own rebellion, and he definitely has his, so it'll be interesting to see.
I just think he's creepy. He's weird with Dedra, and I don't know. He just has an off vibe. He's like the kid who tells the teacher, "Oh, miss, that was homework." You know, he's that just a loser.
You forgot.
No, he's the guy. He's the guy in Charlie's Angels that pulls out people's hair and sniffs it. That's.
Poor Cyril.
I think I captioned like one of my memes when Andor was coming out about Cyril and Dedra and how Cyril's really creepy. I think I captioned it with, he wants that Dedra bathwater or something, which I feel like is I don't know. I feel that's accurate to Cyril. He's just a little creepy little guy.
I agree.
He's got game like old Greg.
And as someone
This
who
is not
creeps on Dedra, I like to say to Cyril, back off. You know? I think because in the same vein, I do think that there is room for Dedra to also kind of come around, you know?
Ooh.
I don't think Dedra's coming around.
Nope, she
No.
is no.
Can we make some bets here?
Dedra is gonna girl boss herself into a shallow grave.
She's gonna wake up to a hollow message from Cyril going, "Hello, princess."
Well, I mean, okay, so think about it. There's a connection between the two, right? And so if Cyril has
define connection.
I mean,
Whoa.
it
Very
doesn't
loose
matter.
connection.
It doesn't matter what the connection is. There is one.
There is a.
Right.
I think there's a plot connection. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that
Because he
Cyril
saved her, right?
views. Well, Cyril views that there's a connection between the two, but Dedra, this is a one-way parasocial relationship that he is having with her. Like it is I've been thinking about you all day, every night, and she's like, I don't know who you are.
I don't know, but for me, the natural kind of narrative progression is that whatever is playing in his mind that goes towards his turn might also sway her. There might be a moment in those arcs where that happens.
She might pretend so to like manipulate him, but she's like, that girl's like doubling down. she's doubling down. Also, like, there have been interviews, I think, where Denise Goff is like, yeah, she's just a full-blown fascist. She's no longer like a man in a she's no longer a man in a woman's world, or sorry, a woman in a man's world. She's just a fascist. I'm like, okay, fair.
Can we bet crepes?
I feel like they're gonna both be as equally as bad as each other in the next season.
It's the meme, like, what if we're both red flags? Like,
I saw another like Twitter meme where it was it's like that quote from Suicide Squad, that Viola Davis's character talking about the Joker and Harley Quinn or something, where it's like he was the king and she was his queen and no one would ever mess with his queen or something like that. I feel like that's very them. I like both of them a lot as characters and they're really interesting to watch on screen, but as like being emotionally connected to them as people, no, I don't like either.
I look at Dedra Miro as, if she makes it out of season 2 in Andor, she has the potential to go on to the First Order. That is the path I see her going down. She is prime candidate for First Order, like general, type character. Cyril, on the other hand, I just like what Beth was saying about his speech relating to Jin. I just feel that he cannot, in Andor season 1, I feel like he could not see the forest through the trees. His view of justice is not justice. His view of justice is what his mother has told him, what his institutions have told him. Like, he doesn't understand what justice really is. And I think that blindness leans to him not joining the rebellion, although it's possible. You can have a character learn. But that's how I've always interpreted Cyril.
It'd be interesting to see how Cassian would react to Cyril joining the rebellion, if that were to be the case.
He would shoot him!
And I would cheer him on! It's like, yeah!
Yeah, I could see that ending poorly.
Was there a name of the person he shot in the beginning of Rogue One?
It was just like a pre-Morlana guy. I don't know. Wait, no. I think the one who he killed first by accident was called Verlo or something.
Broken Arm Kid?
Are you talking Rogue One? Sorry, I think you meant Andor.
Rogue One? Isn't that Tivik or whatever his name
Yes, Tivik,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got so confused. Ignore me.
I just think of him as Broken Arm Kid.
Oh, yeah. Honestly.
Well, it's funny that you guys kind of naturally played into, mentioning Jin Jin. For some reason that made me think of Tekken, and that I lost my mindscape. Weird. But there was it was intentional the way that I made this show's thumbnail, because
I haven't seen it.
The way the Rogue One poster relates to the Andor poster, I feel like there's a Jin Erso show there.
Don't say that, because unless you can guarantee that it'll happen, I don't want to hear about it.
Nobody knew there was going to be an Andor show, that it was going to be so good. I mean, it was the least anticipated show for me and Choco at the very least when it was announced, and then it's just become this juggernaut.
They were like, Andor, and I was like, why?
Are you kidding? I lost my mind. I remember it so vividly.
Really excited when they announced it, because I saw The Force Awakens more than any movie in the theaters, but right behind that was Rogue One. Like, I went to go see Rogue One over and over and over again, and because I had just moved to New York when that came out, and I was so excited. Because I remember, Beth, you might remember this, all of the New York taxis had the stormtroopers on the beach.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing pictures of it.
Yeah.
I just remember them using Nissan to advertise for the Nissan Rogue, and I was like, oh, Jesus. That's so weird. It works, though. It works. You know what?
I think Rogue One altered my brain chemistry. Sorry,
if they do this show, I do want them to involve our other favorite Beth Revis, from Rebel Rising, and yeah, because I think she does. Actually, we should get Beth Revis on the show to talk about this.
Sure. And we should get Beth
Really?
on again.
a joke?
Yes,
Beth.
yes, no.
Rebel Rising.
Yeah, we're mutuals.
What?
Wait,
Really? Oh my god! I didn't know that.
Literal celebs. Literal celebs.
Rebel
we-
Rising was the most surprising book to me.
I read it when it came out. I loved it.
I didn't read it when it came out. I was a little late to the party on that, but I was doing like this bike packing trip, and I was like, oh, Audible credits, why not? And I was just like, it was funny because I did that bike packing trip again, and I could just remember the landmarks for where I was in the book, and I just remembered that so distinctly, and just the way that I feel like that book, as well as Andor, have taken Star Wars so close to passing through that like young adult threshold, like the Flechette scene of Rebel Rising is so out of character for Star Wars.
Yep.
And I remember having a discussion with someone about that, and I was like, they're like, yeah, but doesn't that make Saw a bad person? I was like, go reread that chapter and understand who was in. Beth Revis does not tell you precisely in that moment who is in that room, but all of the stuff leading into it and who was getting turned away at the door tells you exactly who's in the room and why they carried that out. And it was just like, there's so many moments of that, like a lot of the prison suicide and stuff like that, like all the stuff.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
like it is a wildly graphic book.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I read it. I would think I was 16 when that book was published.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2017. It's actually the reason why I never finished Catalyst, because I was 5 chapters in reading Catalyst, and then I got Rebel Rising in the post, and I was like, oh, this is a Jin book. I'm going to read this instead.
Rebel Rising is infinitely more exciting than Catalyst is.
I think 16-year-old me definitely agrees with that statement. I think I would appreciate Catalyst more now as an adult.
But it is
Definitely.
an
It's so
amazing
weird, though, 'cause-
trilogy to read. Is that, you know, a Catalyst, Rebel Rising, and a novelization as
Yeah.
one? It's fantastic.
I do wanna
It's definitely not young adult. It's so strange because you read it and you're like, I see how the writing is technically young adult, but
Yeah.
as Chase was saying, like the thematic elements, you're just like, this is not young adult.
Her life is rough. Like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
gets beat down and talks
My
about
girl.
how
I can't-
terrible it is in
Yeah.
prison, and like
I
and it's
feel-
like a work camp, and
I feel bad about like not remembering the names, but the mother and son, where she kind of like almost falls in love with the son, and like that is
Yeah.
just
She does.
yeah,
It's
and
like
just,
Hada.
yeah, and it's
His
just
name
taken
is-
and it's just taken from her.
Yeah.
Like
Just like
she's
I
everything
actually-
in her life.
taken from her, or does her presence destroy their lives? You know,
No.
in a sense.
How
No.
dare you say that?
not that, not in a malicious way, right? There's no one, you know, but that
My
just
girl.
goes to show you what her mindset would be.
Yeah.
After that, of like, I can't do this. I can't get close to anyone because this is what happens when I do. You know, it's
She's
she
so
had
young.
a rough life, and rough, short, tragic life. Now I'm sad. Damn it.
Oh,
it's a heartbreaking
damn it.
it's a heartbreaking book. It is really great to see kind of how that book transitions into Rogue One with Wobani.
And the epilogue, yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's just one of those things of like, as much as I love this era of storytelling and this style of storytelling in Star Wars, one of the things that like does kind of worry me is like, do we get oversaturated with it if we do like a Jyn Erso show? As much as I would love to see Felicity Jones or someone younger than Felicity Jones take on like a younger Jyn Erso,
Felicity
like,
can still play it.
If Diego Luna can play
Yeah.
like Cassian at 20 years old at the age
Yeah.
of 40, Felicity Jones can come back and play Jin.
that's fair.
Yes.
But like, it's just like I would love it and I would eat it up because I just love this era and I love the cast of Rogue One and how all of that has expanded slightly over the past couple of years. I'm just like, are they just going to get the notion like this is the only type of story we can tell that does well and we can't explore other things? Like that's something that I get concerned about with stuff like that.
It's a legitimate concern. I mean, but quite frankly, with what they've been doing with the projects as of late, it really has been kind of a mixed bag of everything, right? We had Acolyte, we had Skeleton Crew, and it's just kind of jumping from timeline to timeline and era to era. And I feel like just to kind of qualify our lack of excitement for an Andor announcement back then, Rogue One wasn't particularly high on my list.
Oh, so you're a fake fan, is what you're saying?
Oh,
and
nor my list.
and you know, it took a couple of more rewatches for it to kind of rise in the rankings, you know, and that's kind of why, like, in addition to a Jin or so kind of rebel rising show, I'd like Guardians of the Wills as well, you know. All of these characters have a lot of shelf life to them, and I haven't thought that since my first watching of Rogue One. But with rewatches and with the success of Andor, I do think that there's a second life in all of these characters. I mean, people say all the time they'd love to see a buddy cop show as well. Chirrut and Baze is literally like that show.
The
Or
weeps
even Cassian and K2.
yeah. The weeps I wept on the beach with like Bodhi was hard, K2 was hard, Chirrut was really hard, Baze was devastating. Like the first time watching it, I was like, I cannot contain myself when he says I am one with the Force. I'm like, stop it, Mister. Please.
I think it's safe to say that all of us probably came out of that cinema feeling very traumatized.
I think like it was just, it ended and you just, at least I just sat there and like stared through the end of the credits till like the lights came on, because I was just like, this was a lot and I am never going to be the same. But it was great. There's so much opportunity though, and I don't know exactly how this would work, but I feel like taking like the Andor level of serious and the Rogue One level of serious and applying it to like the New Republic, like immediate post Return of the Jedi era, I think that would be fascinating.
Actually, Chase, I'm gonna call an audible here. We haven't talked to Haley in a while. You mind if she steps in for you to talk about her Rogue One love?
Haley, Pep wants you to talk about Rogue One.
Okay. Rogue One is great. It has no flaws. And
Excellent.
yeah.
Perfect.
No,
I
I mean,
guess
she's not wrong.
He was
Go
more
Haley.
wanting to see if you wanted to join the call, but that is perfectly okay if you don't feel like jumping in and being on camera or anything.
I think we're getting ready to go to Portland tomorrow, so
Portland.
she's gonna be packing.
Crossing the river.
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of putting people on the spot, can we perhaps get a Luthen monologue?
No.
no.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Erin, I told you this was coming. You said you were going to
I thought
prepare.
you were joking, bro.
No, not at all.
It's on my TikTok, so you can go watch it on my TikTok if you want to go see it.
That's fine.
You know, speaking of buddy cop, I would not mind if we did a Bix Brasso show.
Oh,
I just
Brasso's-
need Bix to be safe. Listen, we briefly saw her and Cassian, you know, rubbing hands and stuff.
Yeah, looking very intimate.
Please don't tell me that means she doesn't make it. You know, I just that's
Why?
That's all
Is there some kind of hidden connotation behind rubbing hands?
I mean, it's pretty obvious what that
There's
was,
there's like
gonna
a
be.
final like a final embrace trope kind of thing that you can kind of infer by that. If Bix or Brasso don't make it out,
We
It's not gonna
stormed
be
the
pretty.
Lucasfilm headquarters.
yeah.
I don't think Brasso makes it out because we haven't seen
No.
him in any of the
I'm
other
sorry, what was that?
footage
I couldn't
No,
hear
I'm
you. What was
sorry.
that?
I'm not looking at it either. But we don't see him in any of the other footage besides what looks like Dantooine. I think a lot of people are at least guessing. But whatever that field planning
God.
is at the beginning, we don't see
Oh, why would
anything
you say
in terms
that?
of that.
I didn't realize that's what you said it. Oh no.
So
Yeah.
I'm on your camp of Dantooine. A lot of people have been saying Lothal. Talking to
I thought Lothal.
Yeah.
talking to Alanis yesterday
I
on
think
Podwans, she is thinking it's possibly part of Tarkin Town. And I know that she is just trying to manifest Callus.
Manifest
That's really what it is.
But I'm in the camp of Dantooine, but I do think the idea of that could be, part of Tarkin Town could be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it looks like Dantooine to me.
I mean, there's a. Oh,
for
sorry.
No, go for it.
So there was a scene. I don't know if anyone who was at Celebration 2023 who was in the Andor panel, like they played that mini teaser trailer at the end of the panel, and there was. I've not seen it in any of the. Well, no, it's not been in any of the trailers for Andor yet. But there was a scene between Vel and Cinta that I'm very interested in, and I'm like, if they cut that out, it better be in that final. It better be in season 2, because I need that, because I really like Vel and Cinta a lot, but I really hope that's in season 2.
Are we saying we want a show called Cinta's Vel?
Every cast member of Rogue
Cinta's
One and
also my
Andor
wife.
gets their own show now.
Yeah.
They
I have some devastating news for you, Choco.
It'd be great
You don't
if we
know.
got an Andor fact pause. That's what we need.
Oh, that would be good. Like,
Yeah.
book
So
Right?
I
They don't get their own
getting
show.
ready. Is there any particular scene that you're expecting to watch and just cry over? Because I'm expecting fully to be in tears watching Mon Mothma cry while dancing at her daughter's wedding.
The wedding. 100% the wedding. It's going to be rough. It's going to be very rough.
I feel like the ending, just the ending of the show, will probably be like those final few scenes, because apparently it leads straight into Rogue One. That's what they've said. I feel like I'm just going to be crying because this is probably the last time we're going to see Cassie and Andor, and that makes me very sad.
I might cry a little when they eventually go, we found this person, Liana Halleck. That might make me...
Don't even
Yes,
joke about that.
yes.
Oh my god! I've been manifesting a Jin. I'm just like, please, Tony Gilroy, just like give me
If
a
we
Jin
get-
Urso Crumb, please.
Speaking of manifesting characters, I know I have the longest shot of Chas Chaddock showing up, or at least being mentioned, because of the Cavern Angels taking off and the fact she was with the Cavern Angels around this time. So if that happens, there will be a building in downtown Seattle that just explodes.
That brings me back to Alphabet Squadron and how I think Erin would enjoy that trilogy, but also, going off of how much Choco loves Chasna, I think their bio would change from still thinking about Cal to still thinking about Chaz and Chaddock.
But Chaz and
No
Will
one can
are
replace Cal.
just phenomenal.
Don't
Chaz-
speak soon.
Chas is such an interesting character. She fits the aesthetic and themes of a show like Andor, her personality and her viewpoints, and how she feels about and towards the Empire. It fits. The timeline fits. Her squadron is there. She could show up. if you haven't read it and you do want just an incredible, no nonsense, no bullshit, I don't give a fuck about what anyone says, and I'm gonna blast the most insane music while killing people.
The Nile.
If the Nile had
But a good, but
a good, where if the Nile were good people, like if she was like, hey, you know what would make killing fascists better? Listening to
A soundtrack.
a soundtrack to killing fascists.
That's better. I like that soundtrack a lot better than the Nile soundtrack. That's for sure.
So Choco, if we do get a Leanna Halleck mention, does that mean that perhaps Felicity filmed something for this show?
I mean, at some point, if this leads right up to Rogue One, then at some point they have to know that she's in prison, right? They have to find out that there's this girl who is great at foraging and have figured out whose daughter she is, right? But her name publicly at that time was just Leanna Halleck. Whether or not we see a brief scene of her in prison,
I hope we do.
you know, I don't know. It would be not out of the realm of possibility, but just to pay Felicity Jones to be like in a cell going, no!
I think that like the most realistic people to make a return to Star Wars in Andor season 2 would be Ian McDermott and Mads Mikkelsen right now.
What about Jimmy Smits? Jimmy Smits.
Oh yeah,
Organa.
Bale.
Yeah. That
At least
can
I
happen.
mentioned Bale.
That can happen.
Bale. I feel like he has to be at some point. He has to at least,
He
like,
does.
walk by.
He does show up often enough in so many things that it's fine. But no, if we got a scene with Galen and kind of to maybe bring some of that catalyst flavor that we didn't get in Rogue One and understanding more about why he did what he did and what was going on during his time with the Empire, I think it'd be really cool. I mean, Lyra's gone, unfortunately, so we won't get her, but Galen could be interesting.
I think there's definitely a reason why there's a particular guest at Star Wars Celebration this year.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the stranger's going to be in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to our friend Patty.
Chimera just goes up to Cyril, just snaps his neck.
Oh.
It's
That's how Cyril does it.
it's just an after credit scene of like. I'm into it.
Oh man.
Are you the Sith?
Yeah, I feel like we have to see, like, we don't get the Death Star without Tarkin. Like, as much as Krennic wants it, we have to have some.
I hope they have.
They won't comment on it, so I hope
I
they've
hope
just
they-
recasted it.
Yes, I was just.
Or
I
recast.
hope he's recast. I really hope
Yeah.
that they do that.
Do we have any?
Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
even in that second trailer, they're like they're building a weapon, you know. So someone out there knows someone got added to the group chat or something for the Death Star. They are aware that something's going on.
Did
Yeah,
you guys
and
see
you have
the?
the whole
Did you guys see
Tarkin
the meme?
doctrine, like, which means
Oh,
there's
was
several.
that with
The Saw one?
The Saw, yeah. It's like they're building a weapon. How did you know? I got added to the group chat. Krennic. He's like, it's Saw talking to Luthen. It's like, how do you know they're building a weapon? It's like, Krennic added me to the group chat.
There's another one with Lonnie that I can't, like, it's it's the offset quote, and somebody, where is it? I'll send it to you guys. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, please do.
Go.
Beth, you're on Discord.
I will.
right?
I only heard about that story
Yeah.
from over here, but like, that's
It's-
really.
It's
Wait, your elected leaders don't do that on a regular basis?
Erin, can my wife and I move in with you? We don't wanna be here anymore.
I've been like legally homeless since like July 2023. You guys are on your own. Like, sorry, I would let you live here. I don't legally live here. I mean, I can't say the UK government is like
Even-
loads better, but it's not a complete descent into fascism, so at least we have that going for us.
Brexit
Yep.
seemed not great. I do like KG in the chat said Tarkin is actually Uncle Harlow.
She said Tunkle.
Chunkle Harlow.
Uncle Harlow.
Name.
I hope we see Uncle Harlow in season 2 of Andor. I just want to see him. What does he look like?
I hope he's an Ugnaught.
Just like a random Star Wars alien.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Beth, what's your Discord?
Oh, it's wait. It's just my normal name, marajskywalker. I think so. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I do have you. Never mind.
Yay! Yay! Okay, wait. I'll put this meme somewhere.
Let's
I just
forget
don't
about the
know where to
dots.
You can send it to me and I'll put it up on the stream.
put it. Okay. Yay!
Erin, are you in Discord too?
I do not have a Discord. No. I have one, but I don't really
Gen
use
Z?
it.
What's wrong with you?
It's too many messages to keep track of. It's like I have TikTok messages and then Instagram
Yeah.
messages.
No, it's terrible. I get it. I get it.
I dabbled in streaming like early last year, but I was borrowing all of the equipment, like, and none of it was mine, so that is not a thing I do anymore. But I did stream a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order. And I had a Discord for that, but that was literally it.
Okay, there's this one. Okay, they have 2 memes to post. Okay. I'm laughing because I get to see them before you guys. Second.
But yeah, I mean,
Cat
I
hair
think we
all
get
over
a
me.
Galen reference. I think they have to figure it out, especially since, I mean, the fact that they say a weapon is being built, that information comes from Galen.
Which comes from Bodhi.
Yeah, through
He sends
Bodhi.
it.
That's
If we see Bodhi, that would be really cool. Because
Yeah.
I think he's very underrated. Him personally.
Ooh,
He's such like an important. To me, Bodhi's always been such an
Translation,
important
he's
figure
hot.
in the Star Wars universe. No.
Bodhi's cute.
Yes,
I think
yes,
Bodhi's
yes, yes.
He's cute.
Underrated.
He is. Like, I feel like he's really underrated. Like, he was not on like any of the merchandise for Rogue One, because I
Yeah.
remember when the movie was coming out. Like, I have my Rogue One mug from the Disney store, and like that pillow in the
Aw.
background.
That pillow?
the bag as well. I got from the Disney store. Yeah.
Shrouded in darkness.
I just remember when he gets
Wait,
the
I can't-
dance from Born Gullet.
Do we get more Borgullet? The ultimate.
Yes.
I
Star
hope not.
Wars-
Oh,
The
Yes.
ultimate Star Wars. Hear me out.
That's where Cyril's tie like
Fair.
goes into.
Fair, I get it.
oh my God. Can we do a Star Wars Hear Me Out cake? Like,
It's just a cake of Borgullet.
that's,
Well,
okay.
before
So
before I
we know
post
choices.
this before I post this meme, I'm gonna post this again for Choco's sake, just because it's the current image that's in there in the slot.
Is that the actress who plays Bix Killian?
Yeah.
She's just radiant.
She's so pretty.
Yeah.
Look at her.
The story she told about how she got a tattoo for Bix, like, just was so heartwarming, and I'm just so glad that like the people involved in Star Wars now are like so
They love
like
it
this,
just as
they
much.
love it, and despite what the whiny babies on the internet say, it's just like the I can't remember if I was talking to you guys about it, but like I was playing a game with someone, and turns out he lives in Los Angeles, and he works for Lucasfilm. Like, he's a like well, he's contracted is probably the better way to do it. He's a technician, like a light technician and a stage lighter. He worked on Skeleton. He did not work on Andor, and it's his biggest regret. But he worked on Skeleton Crew. He was like the moment when Jude Law gets lit up in the at the end of Skeleton Crew. He's like, that was me. That feels good. That like people like that moment. He was saying, he's like, what's so crazy is the difference between Mando season 1 and Skeleton Crew is the amount of people that were there for a paycheck during Mando season 1 versus the people that were there for a paycheck in Skeleton Crew. There's no one there for a paycheck in Skeleton Crew. Everyone wants to be there now. Everyone is just
How does one acquire a job like this?
Yeah. Oh,
connections.
Yeah. No, I would pay them to be there. I would be like, so reverse that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's starting. I mean, someone you guys know in this direct vicinity might be actually in the Acolyte novelization. But that's
Zach locked behind a door.
Someone in this direct vicinity, someone in this 5-person vicinity, maybe?
yeah.
That direct? Oh. That's so cool. Sorry, theoretically,
hypothetically, someone I know for a friend of mine.
A friend. Oh, is it? It's like Disney,
A friend of
where
mine
you're
in
like
this
friends with the
vicinity.
character. Yeah.
My uncle works for Disney, and he said,
Exactly. But no,
Here's
because you
a-
know how you can't say that you're the character? You have to say you're like friends with Cinderella.
Yeah.
It's also just a picture of the Death Star.
"Yeah, with Krennic."
Krennic would do that too. If anybody would do it, it would be Krennic.
And then this
Or
is
Krennic's
Right.
assistant from crap. What was the book? With the Death Troopers named Pick and Waffle. Damn it, my brain's not working. Krennic had an assistant. Oh, in Thrawn, treason.
Oh. It's been a really long time.
I've
since
not
I've read-
read those.
I've not read the
And his
Ascendancy
assistant
trilogy.
just sucks. No, it's not in the Ascendancy trilogy.
Oh yeah, the treason,
yeah,
the third book.
yeah.
Here's Beth.
I don't have those books. Yeah. I can't say I don't know what.
Operational
Upset.
security, and it's literally what they said in the group chat right before the journalist like disclosed who he was. So it's amazing. Poor Lonnie, he's definitely not making it out either. And like,
No,
yeah,
I like him.
Yeah.
As little as we see of him, I really like Lonnie. It's crazy how like so many actors from HBO's Chernobyl are in Andor. Because I was rewatching Chernobyl the other day, and I was like,
Oh, good.
why are all these? It's like so many actors from just a major crossover.
It's funny you said that because Haley and I were watching it, and I was like, Haley, we do actually have to finish Chernobyl because you get to see him naked.
Oh wait,
The mining scene.
Yeah, Cyril's boss, or like Scotch guy.
the other like equally ranked guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, Sergeant Mosk. You see Sergeant Mosk?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you do.
You see his weenie.
Full frontal. It's Scotch.
He plays a very gruff like Ukrainian miner.
He's fantastic in it, to be fair.
So good. If you haven't seen Chernobyl and like you have not eaten
I'll add it
anything
to
in a
the
while.
list.
It's brilliant. It's honestly fantastic.
I'm currently
You get
on
to see his
shrinking.
tunkle?
You get to see his uncle. It's
Not for the faint of heart though. There's some very like honestly almost like body horror
it's bad.
kind of
It's-
yeah.
Episode
okay.
4 is rough. Episode 4 is very, very,
Yeah.
very, very rough.
Very realistic depictions of acute radiation syndrome.
Oh,
So-
I mean, I thought that was going in an entirely different direction. Depictions of acute what?
A cute little weenie.
A cute little tunkle. A cute Tarkin.
No, you're right. It's very graphic, but very much worth watching. It's very sad, very, very hard to get through, but very, very worth watching. And you're right.
Where's it
is
on?
HBO.
Okay.
It's 5 episodes.
If you're in the UK, Now TV, because we don't have HBO.
Oh. Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, we don't have it here anymore. It's just Max.
Max.
Yes. Yeah.
It's my favorite show when people complain about episode length and episode counts. I'm like, go watch Chernobyl, come back, and we'll talk about that again.
Why,
I don't
like
need
5
24 episodes of a season.
Is it 5 episodes an hour
Definitely
each
not.
or 2 hours each?
It's 5 or 6 episodes, and they're about an hour each.
That's
Oh
not bad.
wow.
Like
That's
it's
not bad
a very quick watch, and it's very impactful.
All right. Anybody else have anything to talk about in extra with Rogue One or Andor?
I mean, the answer is yes, but if you want to move on,
Go for it.
Yeah, we would be here for days.
Let's just be here for an extra 20 minutes.
okay.
I mean,
If there's something that I want to see, it's one of the TikToks that I made about defection, and if we do get a defection of Cyril, I want it to be handled in a way that kind of shows like what actually goes on and what actually happens in those situations, and how it's not always a tale of heroism. Like sometimes it's a tale of cowardice, sometimes it's a tale of like last resort. I would like them to take extra care with that if that's what we do get. And based on what Tony Gilroy has given us in the past, I think, within the confines of what he can actually present on screen, I think that's possible. Because we've gotten these types of stories a ton in Star Wars, but they're not presented in a way that's like necessarily realistic. Or even if they are realistic, it's like handled, like even Erica Quell. Like there's some stuff that's like, you got the best deal you could have possibly gotten out of this, and so like I would be.
I'm blanking on my favorite character from the trilogy.
Oh.
Now I'm doing a Choco.
Okay.
Will Lark. Is there a possibility that he shows up?
He would be a little young. He'd be recruitment age. If they go to Polinius, which I have no reason to believe they would go to Polinius, he could. I believe he's on Polinius at this point because his first big deal with the rebellion was the Battle of Endor.
Okay, so they'll go to Polinius then.
I think Chasna Chaddock has the best chance. I think the only other person would be Shakara Nares, or Nath Tenzin. Would be the two other ones.
I would like to see a young Napton.
It's Leox Jossie, dude. It's Matthew McConaughey. Those are if we're gonna get Alphabet Squadron references, I think it'll be Chas, and then Shakara, then Nav. That's my ranking for likelihood. I don't think Soren Keys and Erica are so far removed from all of this at this point that I don't see it happening. If we ever got Soren or Erica Quell in live action, I would become deceased.
I also think it's pretty reasonable to think we could potentially see a Chopper or Hera.
Oh yeah.
Mucking about.
Especially when we get to like, because we definitely go. I think we go to Yavin in season 2 of Andor. I think I've seen in the trailer.
Yeah. So every arc they release is going to be the next year. There's going to be a year jump. So especially the one right before Rogue One, there's a high possibility of running into some of those people.
I want to see K2SO interact with Chopper in that case. I remember like people
Oh,
drawing fan
man.
art of it years ago.
Alan Tudyk
Speaking
is.
of which, oh, go ahead.
I'll say Alan Tudyk is confirmed to like be
Yes.
like we're getting K2,
Yeah.
like K2,
Yes.
K2, not like Imperial
Yes.
Security Droid that becomes K2. Okay.
They better give B2 EMO like.
Oh,
He's not. I know it's gonna make all that. He's not making it out.
He's not making
No.
out, but send him off like a hero. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. He's.
I
going
don't
to
think I could
sacrifice
cope with
himself.
that.
He's gonna sacrifice himself. I have enough power to tell a lie. Oh, that's 2 lies. I'm gonna have to recharge my batteries.
it's so sad. At least then he'll be with Marva. Like,
Oh,
it's so sad.
You know, so I was rewatching the Aldani arc yesterday, and while I know he's gone, and watching the payroll hit him, just immediately the waterworks started happening. Have you guys read The 100 Objects of Star Wars?
Yeah, I
haven't,
Nemix
no.
I have the
Manifesto
book,
is one of
but-
them. Or it's called the Rebel Manifesto.
It's the Rebel
now.
Manifesto, and the little blurb that they, and it's like, it's such a sweet blurb, and I love that it's more or less written in universe, because they do act as though Clem and Cassian are 2 different people. But the fact that they say that the rebellion would not have happened if it weren't for Nemec, and that he was the blueprint for the rebellion, that everything that he had written down was what inspired all of the systems to actually get up and join the rebellion. So I do hope obviously we're not going to see probably his actor again. I hope we see the manifesto. I hope we hear more of it from him. Like, I hope even just a voiceover from him, because I as much as like we love Luthen's speech, we love Kino's speech, and we love Marva's speech, the end of Andor where Nemec is narrating his own manifesto is heartbreaking, but it's also like it's just, it encapsulates not only Andor but the original trilogy so well.
well, there's that
Yeah.
on Cassian's coat, like the blue coat he wears in Rogue One on Jeddah. He has that like, it looks like something's like strapped to his coat, and I've seen people say that is a copy of Nemec's manifesto. Like, theorize that is what that is.
I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
There's
Yeah,
I think that it's really interesting too, because in Star Wars 100 Objects, I love that thing. But when it talks about the Rebel Manifesto, it says that it guided and motivated the early Rebel cells, guided and motivated the early Rebel cells, scattered Rebel cells during the early days of the Alliance. I remember because I've quoted it like 900 times. So it seems like it like is actually woven into like the ethos of the rebellion itself. So I'm curious to see how that gets like disseminated amongst the Rebel cells.
hand it out just like on a piece of paper. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, or like
So
everyone
going
just
Here's your Sunday night reading.
everyone just listening to it, just having little listening parties. But it'll be great.
Weeping.
Yeah.
KG in the chat says, "What do y'all think about the possibility that Luthen was actually a separatist?"
Drama.
Reading Mask of Fear. Not that it's impossible, I find it hard to believe. I think that, well, I don't believe that Luthen was a like staunch defender of the Republic. Probably sided with the Republic during the Clone Wars would be my guess. I think that the thing about the Separatists that it's funny because like I did a video about the First Order and people were like, oh, we didn't hear about this, and I was like, yeah, we didn't see anything from the Separatists in the prequels either, but we still understood. What we have gotten in the Clone Wars and other Star Wars canon, like the Separatists, well, yes, had their nuance. They were not the good guys. Like, there were systems there that were not doing great things, and I don't believe that Luthen would have kind of been spawned or grew up through a separatist ideology, if that makes sense. I don't think he'd be fighting to restore the Republic if he was a separatist.
Well, he's not fighting to restore the Republic. He's fighting for revolution, not even rebellion. He's
That's
fighting
fair.
to burn it down. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
I think
he was
either
described
way.
as an accelerationist.
Yeah. And revolution and rebellion are two ideological different ways.
Yeah.
So it'll be. I mean, who knows? I feel like sometimes I know where this show is going, and then it's
Yeah.
Tony Gilroy, and you're like, never mind. This is so much better. Whatever you created.
I feel like Andor season 2, I'm just hoping for more parallels between Jyn and Cassian, because Rogue One is my second favorite Star Wars movie, and I've loved it since it came out in 2016. And since 2016, Jyn and Cassian have been two of my favorite Star Wars characters in that list. And I've also been a diehard Jyn and Cassian shipper. I will die on that hill. I don't care. The way they looked at each other in that elevator, friends don't look at each other that way, and that's just what I think. But there's so many parallels that connect them in Rogue One. Pardon?
I look at baby back ribs that way.
Miss Jyn Anders says.
Yeah, that's it's my username on Instagram, Jyn.Andors, because I just love those characters so much. But there was just so many parallels between them in
Including
season 1. Yeah, like the posters, yeah, definitely. And like the Kyber crystal necklace. I had to like pause the episode of Andor for like a solid 5 minutes and just sit with my head in my hands like this. Like, I can't believe they both had a Kyber crystal necklace.
Signet, yeah.
I really hope there's more parallels between that.
Wow. It's been years and I actually didn't make that connection.
No, I did immediately. I was like, that's Rebel Captain Crumbs right there.
To be fair, when that scene happened, I was latching on the Rakatan kind of lore drop there. But then, wow, like, you know, both of them getting at least a crystal. Because I don't... was it... Choco, was it actually... The Skyfire signet, is that a Kyber crystal, or is that...
He said he called it Kyber, right?
Sky Kyber. It's called
Yeah.
Sky Kyber, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who brings a treasure to a robbery?
I know. Well, it's interesting too because so Luthen's is priceless, and then or Luthen / Cassian's, and then priceless, but like Jin's is also priceless, as meaning it has no value. So it's like a really interesting dichotomy of like playing with the commodification of the Force, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And how that ties together. It's just cool. It's just those parallels are just like brilliant.
Well, I feel like where Cassian is at the start of at the start of Andor, that's where Jyn is at the start of Rogue One. And I've always felt that they are just so similar in so many different ways. And they just bring out like the best in each other almost, like, because Cassian's been so selfless, and he's just done everything that the rebellion in Rogue One anyway, like just does everything that the rebellion sort of ask of him. He does their dirty work for him, and then Jyn comes along and is like, hey, it's actually okay to be selfish sometimes, and in return Cassian teaches Jyn to be selfless and to be a part of something that's like bigger than herself. And I just feel like we were robbed because like I feel like if they had lived, I don't know.
If they would have lived, they would have made the most beautiful babies.
Yeah,
so true. Wait, we need so drop your AO3 handle. We need the fic. drop your AO3 handle.
I have written Jyn and Cassian fanfiction, but it's not what you think it is. It's so much worse. I will detail it.
Is it
if there's absolutely no judgment? No. I don't do that.
Hey, we listen and we don't judge.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was
a little.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I was 16 years old when I started it, so you know, it was a modern day Star Wars AU, but it was the Parent Trap.
That's so cool.
So it was like Jyn and Cassian are the parents, and they have the twins. I didn't finish it, but yeah, I did write that once.
Oh man, I love that. Like my child of the '90s, my heart is so full.
I love The Parent Trap. It's one of my favorite movies, and I guess 16-year-old me was in 2018 was just like, what if? You know?
I'm just wondering how.
How?
The Parent Trap
What do you mean?
comes up whenever Chase is on the show.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
Lindsay
realize
Lohan.
this was a thing.
Lindsay Lohan haunts me.
no, just
Okay.
randomly. Last time we was on, we were talking about planes, and they rode on the Concorde. In that being a core memory for me, and then, so it came up super randomly last time. It's just funny. But
This was
I like
planned
it.
all along.
No, you should revisit it, and you never know. You never know what happens to it. You know.
I know exactly what happens. And I remember like writing in, because in the movie it's like, oh, the dad's the one getting married, but I guess teenage me was like, I'm not writing Cassian with someone else, so I invented like, I like switched it so it was Jin getting, and the OC like fiance that I made up, he's an arsehole, he sucks. And I was reading it back the other day like, wow, I was really on the nose with that. Well done, Erin. Like, literary genius.
Like his
Did you
name is like
manifest
Eric
him?
Asshole or something.
I think I called him oh bloody hell, Scott or something. I don't fucking know. And Han and Leia are in it as well, and they're like the background characters. It's so like teenager and kind of cringy, but you
Those are the
know.
best ones.
Listen,
Yeah,
cringe is love. We embrace
Yes.
the cringe.
I am on
People
AO3
liked it,
right
to be
now
fair.
trying to find this.
Yeah.
4,082 works to go. Okay, I'm going. We're going back. If you're 23
I
now
just-
and you wrote it when you were 16, okay. At least I have some time frame here.
As our good friend Patty Jackson says, you know, everybody has their story to tell. Everybody has their process, you know.
I have like other. I think I wrote like a other Rogue One fanfic. Very like it was like an AU where some live and some didn't die, and that was like a couple chapters. It wasn't very long, but again, that was when I was like 16. But then in the past couple of years, I've written like 3 one-shots, 2 for the Jedi games, and then 1 for Obi-Wan and Satine. Actually, the conversation.
Oh,
I love
Okay,
Obi-Wan and Satine.
You gotta send
It was
that
like
to
a.
me.
It was so you know when like he goes undercover as
Yes.
Reiko Hardin and he fakes his
Yep.
death and they have the funeral and Satine's crying her eyes out. I always thought how did she find out that he was still alive? Like what went on there? How did that conversation go down? Was she mad at him? Like what, you know? So I wrote a one-shot about that.
Is that publicly available?
Let me see, because I think some of them are.
Because Obi-Wan and Satine are also a big, huge.
If we don't get Year on the Run material at some point,
Oh
I
my
would be...
God.
How long
That-
have
I
you
have been-
lobbying for that?
I have been like begging for like a book about that for since 2022, but like there is an amazing fic on AO3 about the Year on the Run. And it's honestly one of the best things I've read in my entire life. It's so good.
Actually, this is a good exercise, creatively speaking. I mean, Ewan McGregor is back, but I don't think he could necessarily go back that younger. But I mean, listen, I love books, and I think they're the better medium in terms of storytelling for Star Wars. But I would like a Year on the Run show.
I
So
always
I'm
said if it was a
wondering who
book, I'd like
plays
it written by
Obi-Wan.
Claudia Gray.
Yes, yeah. Just anything, any media at this point.
Who plays Obi-Wan and who plays Satine?
I literally can't imagine anyone but Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but
And then James Arnold Taylor voicing him.
The thing is, every time
Why don't we just get like Ewan McGregor, put him in like a little propeller hat with a little lollipop just to indicate a young age, and then we can all collectively
Hello,
just pretend.
fellow Padawans.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
I was working on a fanfic years ago. It was 30,000 words at the time I finished it. And it was about mining corporations.
Nice.
The least exciting thing you could write about.
Wait, I
Anything
want
could
to
be
read
exciting,
it. Chase,
though.
I want to read it. That's
I
really
would
cool.
need to rework some of it because like I remember going back and rereading some like absolutely not. Like part of it was like, what if like, what would a like someone like, you know, stereotypical Order 66 survivor, like what if they had just one of the inspirations was like the scene in Kenobi where Obi-Wan is just chopping meat. And I was like, what if that was an entire story? And I just was like, oh, mining corporations and all of the nonsense and stuff that can go on with that. So I just started writing just ridiculously technical stuff about spaceships and tried to incorporate a love story. And I did not like the love story. I hated it.
Well, it got in the way of all the mining.
It got in the way of the mining.
The love story should be the love of mining, not the love
Yes,
of your
exactly.
people. Yes.
It's funny because I have a Google Doc folder with like, you know, the different chapters and stuff like that and notes and stuff, and then I have like the first page of like reworking the whole thing of like, no, I hate all of this. Let's start it off different.
That's what I feel about like everything I've written. I remember like the Callan Merrin one shot after post Jedi Survivor. I was writing that thing for like 8 months. So I was just like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
It's like I just remember like I would get these ideas and I would be like commuting to work. If I wasn't writing, I was on like the train and just be like, ooh, I'm just gonna write while I'm on phone. I'm gonna write some stuff while I'm on my phone. And I was like, maybe that's not the best place to write a book, but you know.
Well, the thing is, like, with all the characters in Rogue One dying at the end, fan fiction was like a really big, safe place for all of us. Like after the movie came out, especially for Jyn and Cassian shippers, it was like, no, I need something. I need to see something more than a hug. They need to be together, and I need to read it on AO3.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is like rewatching it over and over and over again. I love that scene so much, but I was so emotionally spent from Baze that watching Jyn and Cassian, like I was almost numb by that time that happened.
Oh,
that like it didn't. Not. I was like, and like so here's like the wave of emotions for me in Rogue One is, first of all, the realization they're not making it out. Like that hit, like, and I remember talking to people like, oh yeah, I knew right away. And I'm like, well, I fucking didn't.
I didn't ever.
And when Bodhi went, I was like, oh no. And then it's K2 next, and I was like, oh, no one's getting off. They're all going. And then
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
My dumbass thought that Jyn and Cassian would get out. Like everyone else was dead, and I was in shock. And you see, it's like, was it Tarkin? It's like, oh, you may fire when ready. And I remember telling to my friend who I was with, like, no, don't fire when ready. Jyn and Cassian are still down there. And I genuinely thought that at least those two would make it out. And I remember the elevator scene came on, where they're just like staring at each other, and there's like this nice mood lighting as they're, going down. And I gripped my friend's arm so hard because I thought they were gonna kiss that I left like nail indents in that arm. And then the image of Jyn and Cassian hugging each other on the beach as the fire wave engulfed them was burnt into my retina. And every time I closed my eyes, it was all I could see for the next 72 hours. I came out of that cinema, and the people who were going in after me for the next viewing were looking at me like, oh my god, did a family member die? Like, why is she so traumatized?
So, and I genuinely don't mean this as like, well, I'm older, and so something else happened to me. I was, by the time Jyn and Cassian are on the beach hugging, I was numb. And then you get the Vader scene, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a hell of a way to end it. Oh, and then the lights come on, and they're on the Tantive, and I'm like, I'm going to leave. I can't fucking deal with this movie anymore. Like, seeing not knowing that movie was going to go straight into A New Hope, which is like A New Hope will always be, nothing will top it, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, and then it's Rogue One. The fact that it just goes into A New Hope, and you see the Tantive, and you see everything you saw in the original, and I'm just like, I hate whoever made this movie so
Gareth
much.
Edwards.
Like Gareth
Connecting the
Edwards,
ship.
piece of shit. I hope he
I
stubs
think
his
he's
toe
great.
every
Like,
day.
I-
He's amazing.
I think they should bring him back. I really loved just the visuals of Rogue One as well.
It was just one of those like you know, when you're crying you get the "oh come on," like it was just like that moment of like,
it's like, give me a break, please.
The movie's trying to kill
let me know peace.
and it's just like
You both
that-
went into a Luthen monologue after it.
the like genuinely speaking, it's honestly two things in Star Wars that three things in Star Wars every single time just get the waterworks going is just the final act of Rogue One, Leia passing away in The Rise of Skywalker, like cannot handle it, and in Kenobi, him talking to Leia about Padme and Anakin.
Oh god.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Those are the
To me, it's a one way out. I
I love
rewatched
it.
Andor.
Yeah.
I rewatched Andor like recently, not too long after the US election and like the TikTok ban, all that stuff that was going on. And I got to the one way out arc, and it was just the music and watching all these people just, you know, take control, and I was sobbing. I'm pretty sure I posted a video about it, and you can just see like tear-streaked face watching this. Like, Andor's hitting different in these times. I don't know what to put in this show.
Young in the chat says she saw Rogue One 3 days after Carrie died, and it was on a second date, so she couldn't cry.
Oh,
Repressed.
I saw a story once
First
of
of
like
all-
someone who went to see Rogue One. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Someone had gone to see Rogue One, and then they got out of the cinema. The movie ended, and everyone like turned on their phones again, and they all were getting the news that Carrie Fisher had passed away.
Oh.
Which is like the worst.
That's the worst time. That's a
Worst
extra
timing,
gut
yeah.
punch after
I was-
the gut punch.
I was on the
Yeah.
I was on the path train when I found out, and not a pretty day.
What? I mean, the path train isn't a pretty place. so-
No, you know
Already.
what? Sometimes when you need to get from Port Authority to Newark, it's fine. When I was doing like flight instruction, I would take the path. I would ride up to World Trade, and then take World Trade to Newark, and then I would ride from Newark into Essex County. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes path is okay. Not all the time. But yeah, I remember because I was like living in Jersey City for a few months, and I was going back to Jersey City, which also is depressing in itself.
Hey, Miss Marvel is there, all right?
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about Jersey City.
No, I was in a hot tub spitting game at this girl. There's a few of us in the hot tub, and we were all drinking, and we were having like, it was like a party night, you know. We're having fun, and everything's going great. And then she looks at her phone, and she's like, "Oh, the lady from Star Wars died," and I was like, "What?"
Oh god.
and then my whole night was
Ruined.
unsalvageable.
No.
I think I was at my mum's, I think, and this was before she had the internet. Like, she didn't have internet at her flat for a really long time. So, like, I didn't have any news all day, and then it just came up on the BBC 6 o'clock news. I was at the first headline, and I gasped really loudly, and my mum heard it from the kitchen, and she was like, what was wrong? And then she came in, and I'm just, like, literally crying my eyes out. And she was like, oh, Erin, I'm so sorry. And then I went to the bedroom, and I kicked in a drawer, actually. I was really angry, like, with the world. I was not a kind of overreaction. I don't know. Carrie Fisher really means a lot to me. Very,
Yeah.
like, huge idol. So, like, I was very upset when she died.
Carrie was one of two, like, celebrity deaths just, they don't really affect me, but Carrie's one of two that really just, like, still saddens me to this day.
Yeah, I often think about, like, oh man, I wish she was still here.
Yeah.
Well, like,
I mean,
also the Princess Diaries had, like, just come out, too.
Yeah.
I read it, like, when it came out. I need to reread it, actually, because I was 15 when I first read that book, and I don't think I could fully appreciate, like, what she was saying, because it is a bit more, I think it was, like, not what I expected it was going to be, like, this, especially the stuff about her and Harrison Ford. Like, I was reading it at that age thinking, oh, this is quite sad.
And sad, yeah.
Yeah.
He treated her
But
like
she's a great writer.
But
yeah,
he's great in Shrinking. You should watch your show Shrinking. It's fantastic.
Well, you know, at least Carrie and Harrison Ford were still friends after that, you know.
Yeah,
They
I
seem
mean,
to...
a big part of why he came back for Rise of Skywalker was because of Carrie Fisher. And
clearly had a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah. And all three of them, I feel like, you know, really cared about each other. And while I think, like, narratively, I think, you know, like, a lot of people complain about, like, oh, the three didn't have a chance to, like, all reunite on screen. And it's like, yeah, I get, like, the narrative point of why they did it, but I do, like, in the same reason that, like, I can still defend Palpatine returning, because, like, give Ian McDermott one more chance. You know, it's kind of nice. And then, yeah, it's like, it would have been nice just, like, as a fan to see that, not necessarily a narrative reason, but as a fan to see it. But
it was not meant to be.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have done if she was.
I think they would have. I think they would have figured it out how to do that for sure. My thing keeps going crazy.
Oh no!
I don't know why it does that. It just gives up sometimes.
They're trying to.
Maybe we'll get a Leia mention in Andor season 2. Maybe. If Bale shows up.
Maybe. Yeah. He could be like, my daughter.
They could always
I
add
know
him
who
to
that
the
is.
signal chat, you know.
Yeah. Oh man.
The other celebrity death that kind of got me was Paul Walker.
Oh.
Chester Bennington was the only other one that really, really hurt for me.
Yeah.
Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine since. It hurts too much still.
Oh.
You know what?
Alan Rickman. That was a rough one.
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, a lot of them hit me. Now that I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, this conversation's sad. This got sad.
Sorry.
The one that surprised me with how it hit me was Matt Hoffman.
Unfamiliar.
The bicycle, the BMX guy.
Oh.
No, never heard of him.
Yeah, no.
Which is fine, but I was just really into.
He was like the Tony Hawk of BMX riding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, not to add to the sourness,
so
but
sad.
like, speaking of One Way Out, did Kino make it?
Is it bad that I don't want him to have made it? Like,
I'm in your boat. I
have
hope.
very complex feelings.
I think, or at least
You
like
hope
just
he
that we
drowned?
don't know. No, just that we don't know.
Just- yeah.
But I think
Leave it.
it would be just leave it so that way it's completely
Leave it
open
as
to
is. It's
interpretation.
perfect.
Yes.
What happened is,
but also
he hit
bring
his
him
head
back
on a
for other alien characters.
No, he hit his head on a rock. It scarred him really badly, and then he took over the First Order.
Oh yes. And then Palpatine found him and was like, sweet.
Yeah. And he's like,
yeah.
oh, you're actually pretty good with this whole Force thing.
Yeah.
Loy ends up ending up being Snoke. It sounds like such a 2017 theory when everyone was theorizing like, who is Snoke? I bet Mascanar is Snoke.
Yes.
Kino Loy saying like, you want me to wear a black robe? How about gold and glittering, motherfucker? Like,
Slay.
I've been wearing these white coveralls for like God knows how long. I need some pizzazz in my life.
Diva
Get me the gold.
Diva needs to come out. Like
Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, I hope they just leave it like that. It's just such a perfect, ambiguous ending, and it's so poignant that way too.
I can't swim is just the way it needs to be. We don't need a body, we don't need a, oh look, he's finally back. It's just we all saw how high that jump was. We all saw how far that swim was, and the last thing we see him say to Cassian is, I can't swim.
Yeah.
That hurts so much.
A small part of me thinks that there is narrative importance there because he says that to Andor.
And he's smiling when he says it.
Yeah, because he knows the whole time that, I mean, he has to know they're surrounded by water. So it's like everything he did.
One way out.
Yeah, everything he did, he knew he wasn't going to make it at the end.
And it's like, it's just one of those things that, one of the great things about Kino's character is he does go from this, like, just do as you're told, it'll all be fine in the end, trust in the system, like, we're all here for a reason, to, okay, yeah, just because this one weird thing happened doesn't mean that it's going to happen to us, to, this is a systematic takeover of this complex. And what I love so much about that final episode is the weak speech in the beginning. And Andor says, that's it, that's all you have. And what he delivers after that, and then running with all of the prisoners, running as fast as them, knowing what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is like one of the best things to come out of Star Wars in recent memory. It was such a fantastic episode, and I also like how it is building on Cassian's ability to help others rebel. Because, like you said, like, Kino gives that weak speech first, and then Cassian's like, you know, come on, man, do better. And then he does, and then he also kind of does that in Rogue One with Jin. So the whole rebellion's built on hope. He passes that along, and I like the consistency that provides.
And yeah, I feel like Cassian sees a little bit of himself in Kino, of like, because where he starts, it's just like he does not care about the rebellion. Even in Aldhani, he doesn't really care. And rewatching he's there for the money. He betrays Luthen. He tells them, he's like, I'm here for money.
He's very Andor's very spurious. So like I think a lot of what he does in towards the rebellion and is kind of spurred on by things that happen along the way, not necessarily like a central motivator for him. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of how the show ends and what we're going to see is spurred on by Nemik's death.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so he was just there for a job, but like, you know, I think Nemik's death hit him pretty hard.
I was just about to say, I think the moment rewatching the Aldhani arc is, I think the moment that Cassian begins to believe in the rebellion is not after the heist, not even when he's on the moon with the doctor. I think it's literally that when Vel says, Nemik wanted you to have this, and he rejects it, and then shows he insisted. And I think it's that moment that Cassian realizes, like, all the things that this young kid said and what he gave his life for, it might mean something. He's not going to throw his life away for it, because he's going to go on a nice beach holiday right after that. He's gonna have himself a one night stand, go for a few drinks on the beach, and then he's gonna get fucked up by K2. But I do think that when Vel says he insisted and he takes it, I think that's the moment where he starts to realize that there's something to this. Not that he needs to get involved, but there's something more going on. And it just, from that moment on, you kind of have this snowballing effect on Narkina. Yeah, it's just, I wish, it's one of those things, like, as much as, like, as a personal thing, I wish Nemik would have made it. It's so important that he doesn't as well. It's so important that, like, for other people to understand that the person who wrote this gave their life for all of it.
the pace of Star Wars oppression outstrips our ability to understand it.
You know,
Yeah.
the one thing I hope, and we were talking about this last night, is I hope that maybe there is some type of reconciliation between Saw and Luthen about Aldhani, where Saw confronts Luthen about Aldhani, saying, you had every opportunity to save a culture and a people, and you grabbed the cash and ran. I hope that gets brought up, because rewatching it, I'm just like, it's something that I thought about when I first saw it, but rewatching it again, I was like, the Empire systematically erased an entire... this happens multiple times throughout the universe, but we see it for the first time. Is like systematically erasing a culture. And Aldhani making the news, Saw obviously is going to hear about this, and I do hope there is a confrontation of like, what are you in this for? Are you here to support an army to defeat the Empire, or are you here to save people? Because you didn't save anyone.
Ooh,
Yeah, well, they both kind of like joke about it. He's like, "Hey, did you do Aldhani?" He's like, "No, did you?"
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if they'll get past that.
Yeah, I just wonder if like maybe there's, because I find it very interesting that like this is one of those sacrifices they talk about, and it's just like, what sacrifices need to be made, and what is your actual goal? Because I think like this is the thing that like the New Republic struggles with, is like some of the same things the Old Republic had, was like, you're not serving the systems you said you would and the way you would. The same way any political system has its own shortcomings, and it's just like the rebellion failed these people. They had every chance to liberate them, and they didn't.
Damn.
Well, I hate to jump around, but this just popped into my head. And
Corn dogs taste real good.
they do.
I like
They do.
turtles.
and I use her a lot for many things, but how do you guys feel about Saoirse Ronan as Satine?
I don't know who that is.
I think that'd be great.
She's in Lady Bird,
Jill
Little
March.
Women.
Yeah, Little Women.
Yeah. What's the other one? She was in The Host.
It's Saoirse.
Yeah, I
She's
found her.
Irish.
Yeah, I like that. I think she'd be great. She has
Opposite?
that kind of like.
I'm not good with fan casting. The only fan cast I've come up with in the past like 5 years isn't even for Star Wars. It's for The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. How do you?
I have a theory that we will never, ever, ever get Satine in live action.
That's just disrespect.
I
in
have
my
a
opinion.
theory that
Okay,
these
straight
will-
up.
Hear me out.
If you're gonna pick her, the perfect Obi-Wan would be her husband, her real life husband.
Oh, who's she married to?
His name
Ewan
is
She's
Jared
married?
Ronan.
No.
No, Ewan McGregor's married to Hera.
Yeah.
Actually, that works.
Oh
Ramona
wait,
Flowers.
no, he looks perfect. Oh my god.
Wait, I need to Google this.
Did
Shaq-
Saoirse
Oh, how the
Ronan
hell do you spell
Obi-Wan
Saoirse Ronan?
Kenobi?
Oh my god, he looks the first picture that pops up. He looks perfect.
That's Clone Wars.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I think you've just provided a solution for
What the
Lucasfilm, so.
But here's my thing about Satine in live action. I don't think it'll work for general audiences.
Okay, sorry. wait. Sorry. I feel so strongly about this because in the Book of Boba Fett, they introduced Black Chrysanthemum into live action, who is a character from the comics, and they did that fine. And then we have The Mandalorian season 3, right? We are literally on Mandalore, and there's not even a mention of her. It's fine if like we don't have to bring her in, but for me, it's like just the consistent like erasure of her character almost from like places where she really should be. Like, I remember reading Brotherhood before the Kenobi series came out. There are like 7 mentions of Satine in Brotherhood. and there's not one mention of her in Kenobi, and it's like,
Yeah.
what's with that, guys? And then
There's
with
two-
Mandalorian season 3, it's so
I
bizarre
have
to
two.
me.
They're
Okay.
barely
two
willing
primary.
to say Padme's name. They aren't willing to say Padme.
Yeah.
And that's another one as well, and I don't get that either.
Yeah,
I have
would've-
two primary albatross in Star Wars: Satine and Quinlan Voss.
Oh yeah! Oh my god. Do you think Quinlan's gonna show up in Jedi 3? Sorry. Random.
Or-
I think he's gonna show up everywhere, and I want him to show
He
up
should.
everywhere, but he never does.
Aren't there rumors of like a Quinlan? Isn't that like supposedly one of the animation projects? Did I read that somewhere?
I
Like,
think we're
Quinlan
going.
show.
I think we're going to get an animation show announcement in a month. So I think cross your fingers, right?
yeah.
But okay.
No,
so
I
many
read.
things
I
I
read
wanna
somewhere
say.
it was like Quinn and maybe like it wasn't Dark Disciple, but it was like following like Quinn and Ventress like on. So I don't know. I think it could just be a rumor, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed for you.
It could be a
If
Jedi
I-
Path show that follows both of them.
That'd be
Uh,
great.
Fired a nickel for every time a psychometric Jedi fell in love with a Night Sister. I've had 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened
okay,
twice.
this is my hear me out, not that kind of hear me out about Satine in live action. Is I think for general audiences, and I'm going to say general audiences are the people who. Goodbye, Choco. Hi, Choco. One of the main reactions for a lot of general audiences in The Mandalorian Season 2 was, Anakin had a Padawan? That doesn't make any sense. Obi-Wan had a girlfriend? What are they doing to his character?
Oh,
And they just
man.
Google it, and they're like, "Oh, she's always been there."
Yeah.
I've so back when The Force Awakens came out, I had a Rey Kenobi theory video that hit 1 million, and the amount of people that did not know he had loved someone before was crazy.
I think all of us being on TikTok, which is largely a younger audience that has probably seen the Clone Wars, understands the concept of Satine and Obi-Wan. It's such a small fraction of the Star Wars fan base that I think that a lot of people at Lucasfilm are like, sure, it'd be cool to have, you know, we'd have to have our cake and eat it too situation is like you have to have Satine, and then it'd be unfair to not talk about the relationship with Obi-Wan, and then talking about the relationship with Obi-Wan alienates a lot of fans. I don't mean to hate on the Clone Wars. There are decisions in the Clone Wars that have very serious repercussions for Star Wars at large that really screw things up for everything else. I think I genuinely equate the Clone Wars to contribute a lot of the problems with the Star Wars fandom today, and how they portrayed Anakin Skywalker and the issues
I
with
agree
that.
with that fully.
Yeah.
He's Sky Guy, and he should have never been portrayed that way. That was a mistake by Dave Filoni and George Lucas. It's a great story, and the characterization is so interesting. They could have used any other character in the entire world to do that character with. And I think the people who wildly misinterpret all of Star Wars because of that is because of that show. It's not to dismiss the show and its value on its own, but I think the creative liberties they took with a lot of those characters really screwed a lot of things up. And much as I love Obi-Wan and Satine's story, I think it really screws up certain aspects of Obi-Wan's story that people are used to. So I don't think, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. And it's like, if they want to be bold about it, and just like dive headfirst into it. And I think that would be really cool.
Have it revealed that Corky is Kenobi's secret son.
Yes.
see, those are two different kind of like rabbit holes, and I think Corky Kenobi would probably do the most harm in terms of people's perceptions of Obi-Wan.
Yes.
I mostly like.
Yeah.
If Obi-Wan,
It's like a
kid,
joke theory for me.
But no,
Yeah.
I subscribe to it. But
Yeah.
but like Obi-Wan just having like a fleeting kind of romance with someone else isn't as, you know, large of a leap than having a secret love child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Jedi.
I wouldn't
child
call
out
it
of wedlock.
fleeting personally.
Yeah. Well, as we learned from The Last Jedi, people don't like to see these characters humanized at all. So.
Yes. Which is
Well, lucky me, I
unfortunate.
love The Last Jedi, so
I know. Oh, I
I'd
do
love
too.
to see that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
100%.
Yeah.
community.
It is. I genuinely adore
All the
that
best
film.
people do.
it's my third favorite Star Wars movie, and it's been my third favorite Star Wars movie since 2017. I was in those trenches when everyone was hating on it,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
never leaving those trenches.
I
You
remember.
are among a group of people that were watching it in the theater and going, people are gonna love this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I came out of that movie at the midnight premiere, like, oh my god, that was amazing. That was the best thing ever. And then I was so upset the next day when I go onto like Tumblr and like all these sites to find out that people hated it, and I was devastated because I fucking loved it.
So
I always feel like that's the sign of a true, like, someone who's smart. That's like my litmus test whenever I'm talking to someone.
Yeah.
I'm like, so The Last Jedi,
For real.
and I'm like, can you think critically about something, or are you just
For me, you can determine. I'm so sorry, Chase, because I feel like you're trying to talk
no, go ahead, because what Beth just said just like set me off on like why I hate TikTok as a platform. But go ahead.
For me, since how old was I when The Last Jedi came out? I would have been like 16, I think. So ever since that movie came out, for me, it's always been a litmus test to determine whether someone is like one of the dude bros. Like how they talk about The Last Jedi really does reveal a lot about the kind of like fan someone is. If they're like, you know,
I can accept someone who just like, I just love the original trilogy. And
yeah.
That's my Star Wars.
Well, the caveat there is that they need to have critical issues with it that are substantive rather than
They're not just
my
like,
little
yes,
girl.
exactly.
Holdo is a woman who told Poe what to do,
Right,
and therefore I
right.
don't like her.
Oh, she had purple
Exactly.
hair.
No, but
So that's all you need to know.
I've had conversations, especially with like fans older than I am, older than like Pep is, and it's like they're just like, I stopped caring about Star Wars, like new Star Wars, with the prequels, and like I watched the sequels and I like them more than the prequels, but like I've had these conversations with people where like I came to the realization that I just like the original trilogy. That is what Star Wars is to me. You guys have fun with whatever it is you guys want to have fun with. I'm just here for Luke Han and Leia. Totally fine, totally valid. But you're right. When people
Shout
try
out
to,
Lauren.
I don't know who that is.
It's one of our friends that swears by the first
Only
six.
the original. First three. Okay.
Despecialized theatrical cuts.
Yes. The originals. But no,
I love those ones I watch.
Star Wars. I'm sorry. TikTok frustrates me because I posted a video, like kind of a deep dive into the First Order and its parallels to like Christian nationalist, white nationalist groups, and all the stuff they did. And like someone left like fucking brain dead comment of like, if only they would have shown us in the movie. And I was just like,
But
They did.
What did you see?
and I was just like,
What movie did you go fucking see?
I recorded this video, and like I have so many drafts where I'm super heated, and I'm like I don't post them, and I'm like I have to calm down, level head, and I was super level headed with this one. None of the audio recorded.
Oh, no.
And it's like 8 minutes long, but it was going through every scene of like you see this, here is the example of this, here is the parallel that this shows, here is how the First Order, like going through the fact that what the sequels did in contrast to the original prequels, like we see the faces of the people on Hosnian Prime watching Starkiller fire upon them. We see the fact that the First Order is capable of gutting an entire planet and completely destroying all of its resources to develop a weapon. We see what the First Order can do on a world like Canto Bight, and we see the enslavement process and how age is no longer a factor in slavery anymore, and all of these things that we see in everything from Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker. And I'm like, and you have a scene with the Trade Federation, you have Geonosis, and you have 3 lines of dialogue on Utapau about separatist control. Don't fucking come at me with this shit.
This reminds me of our reaction to the Literature Devil video, where they're playing the scene of Rey defending herself against scavengers and the thugs, and they say, "We haven't established that she can fight," and we're both like, "This is the establishment.
What
This
is that?
is the scene."
Side note about that specific scene, I have always loved the detail. Like when Rey like knocks Finn down with her staff, you can see her knuckles are bloody from that fight, and I've always loved that little detail. Side note.
There's just this. It's just this. Like you see so many people say like, "Oh, show me, don't tell you," and I'm like,
they do that. That's like Rey's
the
entire
sequels more than
introduction.
any other movie show you so much. Like there's so many aspects of Rey's character, like the way she cares for BB-8, the way she checks BB-8's antennas, and it's just like the care that was put into her character and how she is portrayed, how she carries herself, the actions, these subtleties. Like there's no character development with her. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking.
How did she fix the Millennium Falcon? Like having grown
because
up
she's worked at a shipyard, a scrap shipyard, and she knows what parts are worth more than other parts. Like. Rey was like the first character in Star Wars that I really properly connected with, because The Force Awakens was my entry point into Star Wars, and I've always loved Rey so much.
You know what's funny?
I'm a #1 Rey defender.
The people that I have met who Force Awakens was their entry point into Star Wars typically have the best perspectives on all of the movies, because it's not I will be the first to admit, I know that A New Hope is not a perfect movie. You don't have to tell me that on TikTok 100 times that it's not well made. I know that.
Yes, it is. No, it is. Are you serious? I love A New Hope. The original trilogy is my favorite trilogy,
yes,
but like
100%.
I do love the sequel trilogy.
For me,
absolutely.
It's original sequels, prequels for me. And I was a staunch.
I
was a staunch prequel defender in the 2000s.
It's a mixed bag for me. My ranking is just it's like in sets of 3. It's the best of each trilogy, the second best of each trilogy, and then the least of each one. You know,
I have the hot take of the prequels get worse as they go along.
They have.
What?
They peaked with Phantom Menace.
I gotta tell you, the first time.
No, absolutely not. The pacing of that film is whack. I cannot watch it.
The pacing is lightning speed. Did you not see the pod race?
You're like half an hour.
I want to get Erin's perspective on this.
You and I are here. There we go.
Are we back? Are we back?
We're back.
Yep.
I want to get Erin's take on this, because the first time Choco blew my mind with a take, other than finding out that we're both a dyad. He said that Phantom Menace has no protagonist. What was it that you said exactly?
Yeah, there's no true protagonist of the film.
I don't agree with that. I think the protagonist is Qui-Gon Jinn.
I guess. Now that you mention it, I do feel like maybe it's more of an ensemble.
Dies. No, the closest thing I think of as a protagonist for it is Padme.
Jar Jar.
I just think the fact that all of your answers are so wildly different just kind of proves that maybe there isn't a protagonist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The
narrative kind of jumps. You know.
I do think that in the Phantom Menace the plot does revolve around Qui-Gon Jinn and his decisions. I think he is the primary focus, and his death.
Mover,
His death sets forth the motions of everything to come after that.
I mean, that's just true, but like he gets established as like the mentor, in the mentor role for this film.
But he also has like moments where that mentorship is challenged, like with the Jedi Council. Like,
I like Padme as the protagonist. I like that.
I'm gonna be
And
so
also,
real.
she
Like,
deserves it. She deserves it.
Yeah. She was sidelined in a particular movie that is not the best movie, despite what everyone says.
everyone, no, okay. I'm gonna be so real. Like, I can't really
That's just-
remember the movie a lot of the time because I feel like I watch it. I know what happens and I know the characters and I know the story on paper, but if I actually like, try and think about the movie, I've seen it so many times, but it feels like I haven't watched it because I think technically, as a film, it's a little bit weak.
It's just because you haven't. Have you read Labyrinth of Evil? Going right into it, that's what you need.
No.
No.
I
Labyrinth
also
of
think-
Evil.
I also
Were
think
you
as
there
a-
in 1999 when Darth Maul ignited the other end of his lightsaber in the movie theater? Because that was the most amazing thing.
I hadn't been born. I should have been in
also-
the goddamn. I should have been in the cinema in 1999 instead of
Kids
being a.
these days.
That was
Egg in my
my
mother's
one of my
youth.
most memorable erections.
Not my proudest nut.
Oh man.
I
No,
also
but-
think, as an additional hot take, that Revenge of the Sith is also a lot weaker than people.
Oh, it's not a good movie.
If I have a conversation
No.
with 90% of the people that rate Revenge of the Sith as their #1 film, the only thing they point to is the Battle of Heroes. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
I
also
love
just
Revenge of the
nostalgic.
Sith, though.
It's just nostalgic. It's like the perfect nostalgia bait too, because it was like 2005, and it's
I-
like that
I
was
have
right before
had-
things got bad.
I can proudly say that I had a conversation with both Luke from the Podwans and JJ, Lady Dragon JJ, about Revenge of the Sith, and they were like, "No, you're crazy." And I laid out the film for them, and they were like, "Stop talking. I don't like what you're saying because it makes too much sense." They both had the same reaction, and I was like, "This is a film that makes no sense." The complaints of Rise of Skywalker being like a film that was reactionary and made by the studio is the same case with Revenge of the Sith. It was a reactionary film to Attack of the Clones. It was 20th Century Fox telling George Lucas, "Wrap it the fuck up. What are you doing?"
It's crazy
I'm
how
gonna
people
need to
forget that the
hear-
prequels were once hated. Sorry.
Oh, so hated. But
Oh.
yeah,
They're
I'm gonna
so-
need to hear
yeah.
that whole take sometime whenever you get a chance, because like you said, there are things where there's just a really cool fight scene and that's what sticks with people.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
one of the
Battle of
things
the
that
Heroes.
drives me crazy is when people talk about
People do it with Rogue One. Yeah. Oh my
and they
god.
only talk about Vader.
Oh,
and
right.
you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't even fit in the movie.
Like it's cool.
No,
I
that
really
is not
like it.
What's
It was
crazy?
cool to see, but it was like a
Oh,
weird. It's
it's-
a weird piece of imperial propaganda in the middle of a
Okay,
rebel
here,
movie.
okay. Here's
Yes.
the thing. Here's the thing about first off, the hallway scene is that is the breath before the finale, and I do think that when you are faced with the Battle of Scarif and the end events of the Battle of Scarif, you need something to take a breath, and they give you Star Wars-y ass Star Wars to give you a breath before taking you onto the Tantive. I think that the Darth Vader scene fits in the movie as just a storytelling element to give you a break before they do the final reveal. I like it. The thing
I
about
agree with that.
the thing about the Battle of Heroes is more so in regards to the fandom is when I have tried to have conversations with people that are like ride or die Revenge of the Sith people, and I try to have the actual conversation about the Battle of Heroes, the implication, the imagery, the contrasting colors, what everything is going, and how like why each lava burst is important in that scene. And they're just like, I never really thought about it. I'm like, because you were just paying attention to the lightsabers hitting, and that's why you think it's the best movie ever.
I feel like as well, like what a lot of, because a lot of like the Dubros will like criticize the like modern Star Wars and like their lightsaber fights, like the throne room scene in Last Jedi got ripped to shreds, even though it's great. And it's like they seem to forget that the reason why these fights are so impactful is because you actually have the character work behind it. There's substance there. It's not just like lightsaber. Like yeah, it's cool to look at, but if there's no emotion behind it, it's not interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that's most of all of their very kind of surface level, shallow judgments on the sequel trilogy fights, right? Like all of the videos you'll see is like, how did they go from in the prequels to Rey and Kylo.
How did Rey defeat Kylo Ren? That makes no sense. She's not even trained in the.
But it's
Shut
also
up!
it
Oh
also
my God.
it also goes to their inadequate knowledge of Star Wars in general, because George Lucas has always said that post prequels no one was classically trained, and so like you go from the prequels where everyone is flipping around and zippy zappy
Cal
lightsabers.
Kestis is proof of that.
Yeah, and then
He's like,
you have the sequel fights where they're fighting like Luke did in the originals. Like no one trained Luke hands on. And
Also, the prequel fighting is arguably the least effective way to actually fight.
it's more like dancing. I like in or it's like Oronauts Star Wars, the dub parody, which I will always talk about because it's like the best thing on the goddamn planet. It's so good. The way they turn every lightsaber fight into like a rave dance scene, and they make music for it. It just fits so well because the lightsaber fights in the prequels are very dance-like. It's like a rave, you know?
Okay, so in an effort to kind of start to close things up and wrap things up for this episode of Dad and the Force, I do have a final question, and Choco might have an additional question, but my final question to you guys, in particular as it relates to Rogue One, what are, and you don't have to name three, but I'm just going to give you guys 3 chances to name something. What are the 3 linchpins of the movie?
Can you define?
So what holds the entire movie together? What 3 things jump out at you? There's no wrong answer here. It's what so like, for example, my 3 things is of course is Andor and Jyn hugging as it explodes. Sorry for the trauma dump. The other thing is Chirrut walking with the Force, not getting hit, and the other is Andor trying to kill Galen on, I forget what planet that was, but that was their kind of like their first
Edu.
Edu, yeah.
So stuff like that. Like, what are these big moments that hold the movie together for you?
I think rebellions are built on hope. That's my big one.
That's a good one.
That's like it slaps so hard. And then Jin's conversation with her father too, like when they see each other again. That's such a big one.
Borgullet and Borgullet.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said linchpin, not the horniest part of the movie.
Yes. You know what? Also, when it Project Stardust, that's me. I love that moment. That's such a good moment.
I think that if we look at an overarching theme of the film, like if we look at the theme of A New Hope, it's hope. You know, if we look at Empire Strikes Back, it's patience is kind of one of the big things of that film. Last Jedi the theme is failure. I think the theme of Rogue One is sacrifice, and I think the 3 pivotal moments that encapsulate the theme, and they're all death scenes, unfortunately, is Lyra, Galen, and the rebels on Scarif, because every single person that you see that happen to was sacrificing something. Lyra, to stop the Empire from going after her daughter, the only hope that she had, she sacrifices herself to keep the Empire away from her. Galen sacrifices his entire family and his whole livelihood to make sure that the Empire can't do the damage it wants to do, and then all of the rebels on Scarif sacrifice everything to stop that tool. So I think those are the 3 linchpins of the film.
Nice.
For me, it is the Stardust scene that you mentioned, but it's those 3, right? It's Galen referring to that as he gives her the necklace. It's her wandering through Scarif when she hears, the strongest stars have hearts of Kyber, and then again when she realizes that's her.
this is your reminder to join the Kyber Heart Society.
I think like the scene where Cassian, where it's like after the rebellions are built on hope and they're out in like the hangar bay, and Bay's just kind of, you know, like does that point, and Cassian's just there with the entire group of people, and he kind of like lays himself bare to Jyn, and it's the welcome home speech like that. I think that's like such a really big moment. And there's that one photo, I think it was on like the Topps like Star Wars card of just Jyn and Cassian standing really close to each other, and it gave us that moment, which has nothing to do with your question element, but like, I rinsed that photo because it just fills my delusion that Jyn and Cassian are canon to me. But no, I really like that scene. I think that's a very like pivotal scene in the movie. Both of them have like come so far at that point, and it's like shown there, like Jin's willingness to fight and Cassian willing to help her.
Very nice.
Community.
All very great pivotal moments, which kind of like understand now why Choco does those kinds of episodes on the high ground, like just kind of reframing, refocusing, or even just taking another lens and throwing it out there and seeing if it like lands on us on a angle that you haven't seen before. And you know,
that's the whole reason I love the movie now.
Yeah,
you know,
this entire discussion has moved it up even further, and Andor season 2 is probably gonna move it up even further as well. I mean, I think for the most part, like this entire kind of zeitgeist of Andor, Rogue One in general, and hopefully in the future, Guardians of the Whills and Rebel Rising is like a
Bodhi Rook spin-off.
Bodhi Rook too. This small chunk in space of Star Wars is rises together on the same tide, and
Rogue One fans stay winning.
Fantastic. Choco, anything final from you?
No, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. This has been a fantastic conversation. Had a blast getting to hang out with y'all again. It's amazing to see you, Beth, and you as well, Erin. It's been a minute.
All right, we'll start with the DYAD newbie, Erin. Do you have any final words, any final thoughts as we wrap things up? Also, if you want to plug anything, feel free to do so.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a really fun time. It's nearly 3 a.m. where I am, but I've had such a great time. My Instagram is, I'm just gonna say that space. It's definitely that space. That's my TikTok there. And my Instagram is jin.andors if you're interested in that. But this has been excellent as a Rogue One fan, as a Cassian Andor fan, as a Jyn and Cassian fan, all the Rogue One fans. I just loved having this conversation, and I can't wait for Andor season 2. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal season of television.
And thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure. Chase, you're next.
Ooh, yeah, you could find me on the internet, on TikTok mostly. You can find me at Forward Into the Black on TikTok. I'm also on AJ's podcast, Things I Love with People I Like, on Twitch Wednesday nights. I'm on the Pod Ones every Thursday night on YouTube. Final thoughts. I think the hologram message that Galen Erso leaves for Jyn to talk about the Death Star and how he lied about everything to save everyone is not talked about enough. And Felicity Jones' performance, while clearly watching nothing and bawling her eyes out, is so overlooked in that movie. Not that people don't love it, but it's just like it doesn't get talked about a lot. And it's a heartbreaking thing to watch as everything is crumbling down around her. So shout out to Mads Mikkelsen and Felicity Jones for being two of the best parts of Star Wars.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Dedra.
Thank you. Chase, how am I supposed to go after that? That was so poignant.
Just think of it as your turn for closing.
just my platform. I'm marajskywalker on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube now. Start uploading to YouTube. That was a thing to figure out. And I guess for final thoughts, I think that this is we are so privileged and lucky to be able to have Andor at this time of history. And I think that it's going to lead to some really interesting dialogues, as art always should. And I have never been more excited to see a story unfold ever in the history of my life. I just think it's going to be fascinating, and I can't wait to discuss it with everyone. It's just going to be great.
Awesome.
Amazing. Love it. Can't wait to hear your coverage of it specifically.
I mean,
Promise I'm not going to shut up.
We also may be doing watch parties on Andor as well. Is this still releasing?
They're dropping.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Arcs.
I'm not watching any watch parties, y'all.
No, as soon as I remember the dropping in arcs, I'm like, I can't be streaming for that long.
It's a long time.
because then we have potentially like each episode is an hour long, or within that vicinity we would have.
Why do you think they
did
that?
I think it's a smart move. I think it's the best thing to do. I think it aids conversation about the story, and it eases a lot of toxicity if you have a full arc out, because a lot of the complaints people have are answered in the very next episode, and it's like, yeah, the episode asked the question. It's not a bug. You know what I mean? Like,
the amount of people who didn't even get to episode
show.
3 of season 1
is
insane.
Yeah. Acolyte was a dark time for content creation. It was also a great time. It was a great time for views and engagement, but horrible time to. That was when a lot of TikTok lives were going off, and just like I talked to some of the least intelligent people I've ever had the displeasure of meeting during that.
No, it's definitely.
I had a comment. Sorry, I had a comment. I think I was talking about the Acolyte, and someone literally just commented, "You're a woman. You shouldn't even watch TV." So, yeah, that was a really fun time for me.
Whoa.
That's when they were talking about where they want America to be great again. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had. What's funny is like there's so many people that they start out nice, and it's like you always have to ask the second question. You're like, no, it's just not. I can't remember what the person said. I was like, oh well, why do you think it's bad, or why do you disagree with this? And they're like, yeah, I just really think that that women don't understand science fiction, and so they should make shows for them.
What?
Tell that to the clone girlies.
It's like, what the? They invented the genre. Are you kidding me? Like,
I think it was
respect on Mary Shelley's name.
For real.
Yeah, I think it was Hassan that said like his favorite thing to do, and it works every time, is anytime someone says something that you feel is really stupid and just comes out of nowhere and from no like grounding in reality, is say, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah. I know.
And they can't, there is like, that you may get one step, you may get 2, maybe 3, but it cannot go further than that. Because it's typically regurgitated. It's typically something that's very surface level that they haven't actually put a lot of thought into. And it's just like, tell me more. That's crazy. Tell me more.
That's why I always say it's the second question for me is, I ask them something else, and then I always like, it's either nothing or bigotry.
Yeah. You
What's
get
your
to
source
one
for this? Mike 0. Don't talk to me. Go away.
Oh god.
It's something like when TikTok was like threatening to get shut down, when everyone was doing their hot takes, and I was just like, I don't care if I even dislike something. The person who can go on and on and on about something that they love will always, without fail, be far more interesting and insightful than someone who can go on and on about something they dislike.
Oh yeah.
I was watching a good friend of our channel is Eric Debunks, and they said they described the Chuds as something that is quite revealing, but also very fitting. They say the Chuds are cam girls for angry white men.
Oh,
And it is so fitting.
So funny.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
yeah.
I've been saying that forever. I've called it OnlyFans for Chuds. And
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
I love it. I love it.
Because, like, I mean, how much more can you be obsessed with something that you are clearly hating so much?
Yep.
You just show up every single time. You say it's dead. You say it's ruined, but you're back for more each and every season. But that'll do it for this episode of DYAD in the Forest. I want to thank Erin, Beth, and Chase for coming on today's episode and giving us their wonderful and always welcome Rogue One, Andor, everything Star Wars insights. It was a great conversation. Shout out to everyone in the chat who is still going on strong and hanging out with us. Also, like, an extra shout out to Erin for still going on strong at 3 a.m. You're probably an insomniac anyways, but thank you
Unemployment, so.
but this has been DYAD in the Force, episode 212. We are weeks away from Celebration, weeks away from Andor Season 2. We are super stoked. And as we always say, despite and in spite of, and quite frankly, in malice of the Chuds, it's never been a better time to be a Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
But with that said, that's it. On to the next one.
for light and for life.
We are all Kyber hearts.
And
Yeah.
Brazo hugs for everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.